they can even get to a point to even lure the woman to say, the reason why you don't get a husband is because of we need to have sexual intercourse with you so that we can perform a certain blessing or a certain ritual.
And then now he says, let me speak to my ancestors. My ancestors. And then this time around, there is a voice.
My daughter.
Believe you me, there are many people and they are quiet about it. Even ministers, for instance, they fall into this particular victims. I know of some of them.
Then I started telling him, Deron is not the person you thought he was. He actually scammed me a lot of money. He wasn't here for love. And I got to school. I'm trying to be a brave mom. But I couldn't take it. I was breaking. I was broken.
King David Studio podcast.
I came across a story of scammers. Apparently, we have a problem that's rife in our country. Women are being scammed. And I say women because that's as far as I know the story. It's possible that there are more people who are not necessarily women that are being scammed in similar way. The Independent Online, the Star newspapers, Pretoria newspaper, are running a series of stories about these scammers. Look at this. Boyfriend vanishes with her 500,000 rands. That's one story. Today, this morning, I read this on Independent Online. It says Gauteng mom lost 13 kilograms. It's almost like a story weight loss, but it's not. It's a story about a lady who lost 2.8 million rands of her pension to a boyfriend. There's another one. So thank you so much to Jonisani. Is it Marumo? Jonisani Marumo, who wrote this story, who's writing a series of these stories, and I find them fascinating. And I decided I wanted to know more. And so as a result, I invited people who are, one, who's being scammed, and how she's brave to tell the story blows me away, and someone who is involved in finding out exactly the truth behind these stories. I managed to get a hold of Jabulile, Nxumalo, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. And it turns out, Kelvin, what's up? It's all, man.
It's all man.
I'm glad you guys are here. I find this story fascinating, largely because I question the action of the women victims. And I do this because I realize a lot of us are going to say that. We're going to say, how? Sis, kanbonga boni. Couldn't you see that you're being scammed? Because when you hear the stories, it sounds like at some point you can pick up, but this is not right. Jab. Let me start by saying askis. I can't believe you have a smile.
I've cried enough. Now I'm smiling and in a mission of exposing the scammers, because the only way to win is to raise awareness. Scammers have been winning because victims have been keeping quiet.
You've cried.
Yes.
What was at the heart of your tears?
What I was crying about, it was beyond the money, the fact that I trusted someone and the person that I allowed in my life did that to me. That was the most hateful thing. And after this, I'm not even sure if I will open myself for a relationship. How will I trust someone? Because the person they will look convincing. They would look at you in the eyes and tell you that they love you.
And that's
only knowing that he's conning his way. He doesn't love you. He wants your money.
Did you go on dates with this guy?
Yes.
How long was the relationship?
These relationships are quick. Remember, they will introduce you to, they will say they are not allowed to date without introducing you to the ancestors. So within your first month of dating, he will call you into that prayer room where you need to be introduced. In his own way, he's saying he doesn't want to invest too much emotions only for his ancestors to say, this is not the one.
Dr. Rafa, help me with this. Is this common, this route so far? Is this what happens?
Yeah, thanks for the invite. No, indeed, it is common. And I would say we applaud my sister for coming forward and explaining, making awareness to others. Because this is a crime where it's so embarrassing. Most of our brothers and sisters, they don't even come out to tell their story. And that's why the crime persists. So it is common. And, back in the days, I think early 2000, in Pretoria, we used to experience similar situation where the scammers, it was called Washa Washa and Vimbela Maslamus.
I remember the phrase "maselamos." I know, but I think they would touch you and you would lose money. That's as far as my memory goes. But what exactly was that?
Yeah, you see, this phrase, it comes from the way they are so deceiving these people. Like my sister has said that before you get married, everything has to happen fast. So you need to go to a prayer room or perform certain rituals to a point that, they deceive your mind. They make you believe in certain narratives or, fall into their so-called honeypot love scam.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the Vimbela Maslamos, what used to happen is that, a policeman and a sangoma, which are not original, it's not an actual policeman and it's not an actual sangoma, but they dress up. They've got even, your police badge. Some, they even wear a uniform. The other one will wear as if it's a sangoma, your traditional. And then they approach you in town. And to a point that, one will ask for a direction. The sangoma will ask for a direction. Where is Union Building, for instance? Whilst you're giving direction, the policeman comes and say, I hope you are not bothered by this man. What is this all about? Then from that onwards, the sangoma will start prophesying the police. And the police will say, damn, you are so good. How do you know all these stories about me and my life? Then the sangoma will tell the lady that, you know what, you and the policeman, trust the police, go and sit, tell the policeman all your problems. Now, whilst you go and tell the policeman all your problems, you say, I've got 2 kids, I'm not married, or I'm fighting with my husband, we've got a house, we are divorcing and all the likes. Now, once you come back now to the sangoma, the police start telling the story that, you know what, my story goes like this, like this. Now, the woman, remember, she's listening. And while she's doing that, she knows that, okay, this policeman is a stranger and he has told me these things. Then start believing that the sangoma really knows his story. Now, the policeman will start acting as if he's praying in tongues or he's, shocked. Or no. Then they speak Sfanagalog, like, Mina teka aba, Mina teka aba means
take something.
No, Mina teka. This lady is not married.
Oh.
So they know their ways.
They have their own language.
Their own language of communicating.
Boy.
So whilst then they give him a glass of water to drink, then it's the turn of the sangoma now to tell the woman. That's when now everything that the woman has revealed to the policeman, the sangoma will be saying that.
So
now,
the speaking in tongues is telling the story.
He's telling the story.
So,
but
the sangoma will tell it back.
Yes. Now you're thinking that, you know what? This man, he's so shocked to a point that he's praying in tongues. The policeman is praying in tongues. Then that's when now they will start to now lure you to say, now come, withdraw all the money that you have in the bank, policeman, bring it to the sangoma. Because whilst he's at the bank, that's why your money doesn't stay too long.
Yeah.
Then they ask the woman, how much do you have? The woman will say, okay, I've got X amount and even my savings. They say, go to the banks, guys, withdraw the money, bring it to me so that I can perform certain rituals.
But why is it so easy for people to trust? It sounds like I'm going to the bank to take my hard-earned money and I'm bringing it to these 2 strangers.
Yes, remember like what I said. You will think that this is a real policeman. He's got a toy gun. You assume it's a real gun. They show you a badge and then he's dressed up in a uniform. So your trust lies on that. Yeah. And, the embarrassing point about this particular crime, when it first started, this Vimbela Maslamus and your Chaya, or what we call this Washa Washa crime, they can even get to a point to even lure the woman to say, the reason why you don't get a husband is because of we need to have sexual intercourse with you so that we can perform a certain blessing or a certain ritual. And once that happens, because they will definitely do it.
Yes.
And once that happens, you're not gonna go again to anybody and tell them what you have
Of
experienced.
course.
And a lot of people are sitting with this and they have experienced such a scenario.
Because now you're dealing with the double embarrassment also of having conceded to this sexual activity so easily.
Yes, of course. And not only that, they've taken your integrity.
Yeah.
That's very inhuman. So now it has come to a point when now the refugees, this asylum issue that Mr. Aaron Musualedi has been crying about, that we get people, and we're not trying to be xenophobic, we get your Congolese, your Ugandians, Tanzanians, and even some of the Zimbabwean who are performing these particular scams. Now they target our ladies here in South Africa, and even business guys for that matter. Now, the ladies, they target them, to, lure them as if they fall in love with them. And then they make sure that, they withdraw some of their savings or even their pensions early. And how they get their targets, they've got a data either from social media to see, this woman needs a relationship, but her age, she's about to retire. There's her employment. That's how they get some of their data. And guess what now? Some they've got even internal information from, your government pension funds where you're about to even receive money, or even from RAF for that matter. And once that happens, they will send one of their syndicate to go and perform, the thing of luring you into making sure that as if now they're going to fall in love, and they introduce you to the family. Even some, they rent even very expensive accommodation, or they even take you for trips around, So they invest, money before they can take
money out.
10% of their investment, they'll get it from the 90.
It must come back.
It must come back.
Tell me, Jabu, did you get a sense that this guy knew something about you beforehand? Do you think yours was properly planned, or maybe not? Because I know when Gunetinda inside it, but give me a picture of whether you got a sense of whether this person may have known more than he should have.
I didn't get any sense that he could have known any information about myself. But I will assume the so-called ancestor, it's either he's a Sangoma who can see things, or he's someone who has been fed information about me, because there were things that they prophesied about that happened when I was pregnant of my daughter, and it was so accurate in terms of how it happened.
How do you think they knew that? Because clearly these are not Sangomas or anything like that.
I'm not sure. I think they do work with Sangomas.
Okay.
Because there are things like the salamus where you will pray in a box that is empty, then all of a sudden it's full of money. It's either it's a salamus or I don't know what it's called.
Let's go to your story.
Yeah.
Because manje singena kuma box animali. Let's go to your story. How did you meet this guy?
Obviously, Jabulile went on Tinder, and I was like, Jabu, you've been single for a while. Why not try Tinder? I work from home. I still work from home. Weekends, I'm usually at home, and I don't go out that much. I'm not a person who has a lot of friends. So I was like, probably I'll find someone here. It wasn't my first time I was on Tinder. I did get on Tinder years ago. I met someone, but things didn't work. So I went this time around. I was like, okay, they are human beings anyway. Then I met this guy. I swipe. Is it left or right? You swipe left or right?
I don't know.
I think it's right when you like someone, and left if you don't like someone. Swipe right, saw the picture, and the guy was on my inbox. Immediately. Hi, beautiful. How are you? So and so, and I would like to know you better. He wanted my numbers a day or two after speaking, and I was like, no, let's chat here.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with chatting here.
Okay.
So he was persistent. We were chatting here. After 2 weeks, I was like, okay, these are my numbers. We can chat.
Is it a red flag? The moving quickly to moving you out of that social media environment. So it immediately wants this to be out of this to be a real. Is that a red flag based on what you know?
I wouldn't say it's a red flag going to WhatsApp. Remember, people, Tinder on its side, you can put the photos of your friend there, and you say this is your friend. But on WhatsApp, I can video call and see you. There've been so many cases of people who were, what do they call it? When you're speaking catfished.
Oh yeah.
You're thinking
Yeah,
you're speaking to someone, where else when you're about to meet, then it's a different
somebody else.
Yeah.
So you were comfortable with.
I was comfortable with moving to WhatsApp so that I can see that he's a real person. And it was video calling and texting. And we took about 2 weeks before we met in person while we were talking on WhatsApp.
Were you getting interested at this stage? Were you basically? I'm trying to gauge his game. How quickly did he turn you around into a total stranger to someone who was now really interested?
No, these people are good though. They know what women need, right?
What do women need?
Women likes attention.
Okay. That's it.
Woman likes attention. If you give her attention, you wake her up and say, good morning, how are you? And you check on her, you'll steal her heart quicker. Not when you say like, oh, I had a very hectic, long day. You can't even say hi. So women believe that someone who's more interested in them will invest their time.
And that's what happened in your case?
Yes.
And you fell for it?
And I fell for it.
Oh, Jabu.
But there is nothing wrong with falling in love with a human being.
Now we know the whole story. Now we know the whole. That's why we are reacting so quickly as well. And you fell for it. And now, was there a contact? Now it's no longer social media. It's no longer hi, good morning. It's a hi, good morning. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, we did meet for a date. And on a date, I've highlighted this in another podcast that on this day of a date, he said he's full. He is just eating.
Okay.
So I ordered food. He ordered something to drink. And as a kind heart, I think the scammers can pick up someone who's a giver. All the ladies that I've seen that I've been engaging with, they are givers. They are good-hearted people. I think they do some psychology to identify. Apparently, when you walk, you can tell so much about yourself. Especially me, most people, they say, you look friendly, you look nice. Like maybe it's way I present myself. I wish I can change, but I can't. This is how God created me.
So he picked up on the giving side. You were telling the story about him being full.
Yeah, he said he's full.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't eat alone. You need at least take chips from this meal. Yeah, he didn't even indulge that much on food. He took 2 chips, and I had ordered, what is that? It's a burger that is made of, I was trying to lose some weight. It had the...
what is it, vegetarian patty?
Yeah, it was a vegetarian patty.
Okay.
So and he didn't eat, and people were saying that was a red flag. For me, it wasn't a red flag. If you're saying you are full, you are full. Yes. It can't be a red flag.
Why do they say it's a red flag? Look, it's not common. It's a little strange for someone to agree to go on a date, particularly a restaurant date with you, but they get there, they don't eat at all. It's not common.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what to read into it.
Yeah, it is not common, but if someone said, I just ate.
Why are you eating? We're going on a date.
If I were hungry
maybe he was fasting. We can give those reasons. Yeah.
He didn't say he was fasting. He said he just ate because he saw the time that it was about the date and he was hungry. He hadn't eaten. So he had
grabbed
food.
something.
He grabbed something. So he didn't really eat my food that much. And people were already saying, she was supposed to run away from that day because she, like, for real.
Was it a pleasant date? It
was a pleasant date. He looked like someone who's down to earth, someone who's grounded, someone who has a relationship with God, someone who knew what he wanted. He was like, why did you get on the dating site? I was like, I'm just looking for someone. We're like, okay, do you want something serious? I was like, time will tell, but obviously I don't want to play around. He was like, no, I don't want to play around. I want something serious. I've got a daughter that is in Tanzania. He had said he's from Southern Sudan. My daughter wants to come to, I want her to bring her this side
Okay.
in South Africa. But for her to come here, I need to have someone because I'm a man, right? And I don't know a lot of things about girls and stuff. And I was like, okay.
So want a mother figure
Yeah.
to the child.
Mm.
And you bought this entire story.
People want different things in relationships. You want, it is possible. I've seen people who have met for 3 months, they got married and they are still together. And others, they meet each other for 3 months, they get married and they divorce. But there are those people who do make relationships work. Like 3 months, I saw this other lady on Facebook. And I was like, okay, she was telling her story. She met her husband 3 months ago.
And
December,
got married.
he was going to pay lobola. I was like, okay, I guess the guy knew what he wanted. And they normally say a man will, when he sees you, like I'm a Zulu girl, a man who really loves you and wants to make you a wife, he'll see on the first time he saw you and he will say, this is my wife.
I don't agree with that, but it's fine.
Yeah, I've heard some men say that. I'm not saying it's correct, but I guess people are different.
Tell me, Kelvin, based on how far the story has gone, is there a red flag? Based on your previous investigations, so far this is just a guy washela. Is there anything that stands out about this story?
Look, the red flags are very hidden. It's not easy to tell or to see. We have to also emphasize that all these dating sites, there were successful marriage coming out from that. Even other social media. I know.
Absolutely.
I know Facebook marriages. They've worked. It's very unfortunate that this particular syndicates, they target their victims even on those platforms. It's important, like we make awareness and some of the education. I think there's not enough education of checking some of the red flags. Like what I've picked up, the box of money, seeing money and all those rituals or whatever because of we've dealt with some of these cases, one can easily say it is just copies of money that looks like a black dollar
at the top.
That's why they call it washa. Even men, they even fall victim into the same scam, whereby they will show you a box, they will tell you we need a particular chemical now to wash some of this money, and they will just put some cold drink inside that money or whatever then you pick. Then they know how to swap this money and then give you the original. And then they say, no, hang it at the back of your yard. Once it's dry, go and test it if it works. And once it becomes dry, you go and test it, it works. And you've got your 10,000 rand at that time. Now, your belief...
They've invested.
They've invested the 10K.
Hey, they're willing to take a risk.
Now, no, they are very good. Believe you me, there are many people and they are quiet about it. Even ministers, for instance, they fall into this particular victims. I know of some of them. And business
I'm
guys.
To ask you to tell us.
No, I'm not. You have to kill me if I tell you. Now, just to finish up here. So basically, they will tell you that from that 10,000 that we have washed of that black money, we need a particular chemical from somewhere in Africa. We need to travel there, but the chemical will cost 1 million. We now need to wash 10 million. Believe you me, there are many people that will fall into that. Then they fall into that particular scheme. Now, the same syndicates that now are also targeting our women in South Africa, they also do the same with other business guys. So it's the same syndicate that we have identified.
Why do they use love as a way of catching the fish? Why is it? What is it about love? And maybe you can also answer this from your experience, because now kune stokvel nyana salabo sisi who have been scammed. So clearly you exchange stories. But why, in your observation, do you think they use love? Are South African women desperate for love or struggling to find men? What is the story here?
No, they are not desperate for love or to find men. But once a person is hurt from a relationship, they are vulnerable. So that's why they opt or choose to go on this dating sites or even walking around the mall, trying their luck. Maybe someone will say hello and it's love at first sight.
Ooh.
But anybody who has been bitten twice shy, so they trade carefully. But for the sake of, the structure that I need this particular man who will love me, who will take care of me, because the relationship that I'm from, they didn't provide me with all the, the checklists as I tick the box. And they emphasize on that. They make sure they tick all the boxes until they get to the money, until the sexual intercourse, and you become so naive to a point that you only realize after they ran away.
Why do they use love? From your observation.
I'll assume love is a powerful tool. Remember, when you love someone, you have to trust someone. You build something. When you trust someone, you are not so much alert. It's unlike the stranger that you'll meet there. But if it's someone that is close to you and he's busy whispering and saying things, they kind of win.
I guess. What is the next step of this after the date? Niachol or
after the date, and I do like to go and see where a person stays.
Okay.
It's part of the experience again. Oh, dating life. You meet someone who will say, I'm single. He's staying with the wife. Then you last talk to him at 5. and the morning, you're like, let me see where he stays.
When they're driving home in the car. Oh, so you wanted to...
I wanted to see where he stays. Okay. And when I got to the place, it was like, this is where I stay, and I stay alone. It's a 3-bedroom
And that's what
house.
you found?
Yeah, it's a 3-bedroom house in Brakpan. And he was like, this house, it's mine. I bought it cash. And then I asked him, how did you buy it cash? He was like, I'm from Southern Sudan. I've got a lot of cows. And when you read about Southern Sudan, the men there, they still believe in a man's wealth is in the number of cows that they have. They love cows to the fact that they even sleep next to the cows.
Wow.
So, and they've got lots and lots of cows if you read about it. So I did my own research. I was like, okay, it makes sense. He can buy a house. And he was staying alone. You open the cupboard. There are 2 cups, 3 cups.
Hey, my daughter.
And you're like, oh, probably it's just a
So you were doing your own...
It's a single man for real.
She was doing her own investigation.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a single man.
I need to get rid of my extra cups.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There's no woman touch here.
Nothing.
Yes,
And you could tell that...
You can tell.
I'm about to form part of this family. Wow. And how long does it take you to believe that this Indota Yamle, like I found the one?
I guess from you wouldn't know that you have found the one unless you see the consistency in a person. There's been a lot of time where you meet someone today, tomorrow he's telling you stories and the wave is like this. But if someone is consistent, you're like, okay, we can work something with this one.
So, but in your case, you got to a point where you trusted him enough to share money.
In terms of the money, I wouldn't say all the victims of the scams shed their money willingly.
Okay.
First thing, every time you go to that house, and I've spoken to those ladies, as I said, we are actually forming an organization that will represent and help people who have been scammed to live again.
There we go.
It's been after I was scammed, I was like, probably God wanted me to do this.
That's it.
I feel like it's a purpose. I've been driven. I'm trying to assist as much people. If I can't assist financially, I pray for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this kind of a scam, as I was saying, he wouldn't say, my baby, I've got a business idea. Please go and borrow 500,000. I would have dumped him.
It was too new. You could have left.
I would have dumped him. A man who asked me for 200 rand, I'll be like, when are you bringing it back? Tomorrow. If he doesn't, delete him.
But in your case, so you say it's not you don't give it away.
You don't give it willingly.
Let's talk about how you get to give it.
Okay. How the scam works is, obviously, you've visited each other, and then he always, when we talk, right, he'll be saying, I'm from a prayer room. Let me go to a prayer room and pray. And I'll be like, okay, what are you doing in the prayer room? It's like, no, in the prayer room, I pray to God and I speak to my ancestors and also meditate. That is what I do. I was like, and he has time every time, 9 o'clock, he's going to prayer room. I'm like, okay, it's a bit impressive. Men, they usually run away from God.
Okay.
They don't want to pray. And I found it fascinating. So this other day, I go to his house and he says, before I leave, he says, before you go, can you go and pray? I don't frown on prayer. I went in a prayer. Then when I get into the house, into this particular room, it's a room, normal room, but it had 4 boards on the wall. They are thick like I thought probably it's for soundproof of some. They're very thick.
Like
This
drywall.
no,
Oh,
it's a board like
okay,
this,
I
but
see
a bit
that.
thinner than
I
this
got
one.
you. Yeah.
Yes, so it was all over the wall, cream white, neat. In down there, there's a white carpet, and there's a sponge. He said, "I sit here when I meditate." And there was a Bible. Oh, like okay, Bible. And then there is a mini Rondavel house, and said this Rondavel house is representing the presence of his ancestors.
Wow.
He even took it and put it like this. There's nothing underneath here. Okay, then we prayed. Dear God, we pray. And every time we pray, the guy would be praying for the relationship. I pray that you bless the relationship. Lord, I thank you for giving someone that I love.
So this is working.
This is working. You're getting someone who even prays to God about you.
Yo.
Is it not interesting? Is it not fascinating?
No questions. I'm already in love with him already.
And then he's like, okay, now can we talk? Can I speak to my ancestors?
Is that him?
It's him.
Yeah.
After we've prayed. And then I say, yeah. And he was like, do I speak in English or I speak in my language? I was like, I don't know your language, speak in English. Then he uses something. It is sort of, it's an instrument that you use. I think it's used by the Nyangas or something. It makes the sound. It has
Okay.
some beats inside. And he plays with that and say, my ancestors, as you previously told me that when I get a woman that I love, I should bring her here. Now I've found someone that I love. And please advise if you approve the relationship.
Whoa.
And then it was quiet. And then he was like, oh. He was like, and then he said, let's go. We left the room and he was like, no, I'm worried. My ancestors didn't say anything. Now I'm worried because I really do love you. And what if they say that our relationship is not approved? And I was like, okay, probably they will come in dreams or somehow. And I was like, how do your ancestors communicate with you? It's like in dreams, and they also speak. Like I was like, speak. And I was like, okay. He waited. Okay, I got home. He was like, still lovey-dovey. And he's like, but I'm worried that my ancestors... This thing is a worry for him.
Is it a worry for you?
It wasn't.
Okay.
But...
Because I have a feeling it was trying to create doubt.
Yeah.
In your mind.
I wasn't even doubting. I was like, if it's that important to you. I grew up in a born-again family. We don't do any rituals and stuff. We only pray. And at some point, I was married to a pastor. I divorced. I've learned as I grow up to respect other people's beliefs. If you're saying you believe in ancestors, it's your belief. And I will respect that about you.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, probably you will hear something from the dreams and stuff. And fast forward, I go back to his place. This time around, we still go to that room, we pray. After prayer, and then now he says, let me speak to my ancestors. He still talk to your ancestors, my ancestors. And then this time around, There is a voice.
Ah, my daughter. Where is it coming from?
It's coming from that mini house.
Never.
I'm telling you.
Didn't you open to see if there's
He
a
opened
small
the
little
mirror.
radio? Nyana?
Now I know they put a small speaker, a device that will enhance a voice
In there.
in that mini house. But then I didn't know, right? It's something new to me. The voice saying, "Hello, my son," and this one is saying, "Yes, hello, Papa." And then he's like, "How are you?" I said, "I'm fine, Papa." And then the voice says, "Hello, my daughter," saying to me.
Mm.
I'm like, "Hi." I'm actually afraid. Actually, maybe I'm too brave. That's why I'm even talking about this.
That's why at this stage, this would shock anyone.
I was shocked, but I didn't run. I think I'm a bit masculine.
Well, well, maybe you were just you're a sucker for pain. What did you want to see? Did you believe it?
You know when someone tells you, "In my country, we do this. I'll even take you there." The ancestors, they talk, you will interview people. It's how we live. And I was like, "Does your daughter knows?" He said, "Yes. We all grow up like that." You're like, it's his thing. It's his belief. I don't know about it. And the voice says, "Okay, my daughter, last time you came here, we were here. We just didn't say anything. But we just checked in the spirit. We wanted to check in the spirit what kind of a person you are, if you are good for our son. Now that we have checked in the spirit, we see that you are a right person for our son. The relationship is approved." This one is jumping up and down. He's happy. He holds my hand. He kisses me. Okay, which means it's important for him. Those guys, they are good actors.
If
I'll
it's
give
important,
them-
if it's important to him,
If it's
you are even
important.
getting more and more
Yeah, it's important
excited.
for him. Remember, when you meet someone, you don't impose your beliefs. Whatever he believes in, and if it's something important, you support them.
That's it. Wow, man. Tell me, at this stage, again, red flags are everywhere now. These are not hidden.
Yes.
From our beliefs and things like a sound coming from a little miniature house, that alone is a bit of a problem. And I can imagine you're not thinking of a scam. You're thinking of, if anything, maybe there's someone who's just getting you to love them at this stage. There's no money. It's just someone we are sharing. At this stage, what stands out for you? And is this, if you've had any of these stories before, is this one a common story?
Yeah, this one is a common story. But
Yeah.
if you haven't gone through it or never heard about it, you will believe in it.
Sure.
This con artist, this syndicates, they invest a lot of money into this thing.
Mm.
That's why there were incidents where we dealt with, where they even rent out serious cars from dealerships, top brands from dealership, so that the woman can believe that they've got money, they are doing well in business, or from their country where they come from. Now, I'm glad she mentioned doing a due diligence investigation
Of her own.
of her own,
Yes.
of which I'm sure her results or her findings was of what she was given by this con artist.
Yes.
Now, most people, and we want to urge even our listeners, whether female or male, they do what we call open source intelligence, whereby you go on social media, you check who's David and all of that and all of this. And once those they check out to be what you have seen or what you are, the situation in, then you start believing.
Okay.
Then the next step, after seeing pictures on social media that, okay, here's the guy, all right, here's the bio and what have you, they even register certain domain.
Websites.
Yes, certain domain and under their business or the business that they have done, even though without writing any journal or what have you. So their bio is there. Now, here's another thing that most of us, that's why I'm saying, if you haven't fallen into this thing, you'll still believe. Now, as a female or anybody, you go on Truecaller, now you check, who is King David? Or this number, is it of King David? Then it will check out, okay, it's King David. Now, we always say, Truecaller and Rika of a number, they are totally different.
Yes.
A Truecaller is an app.
True.
If now I get any phone now, a new SIM card, and I say, register this SIM card, call me General Hawks.
It becomes that.
Three people, once they save it, it becomes that.
Mhm.
The fourth person, if he's a victim now, we are about to lure them into the business. Once they check that, then they start believing. So those are some of the things when you go on open source intelligence, you check, and you believe that this is true. Then secondly, the thing about the voice, and there's this other one now, I don't know how they call it in English, amanyazini.
Yeah, my thoughts.
You
What
know,
do they do?
yeah, manyazini, you put it on the river, then you can come back. You know, it's like more like a paraffin.
Okay.
Then you come back in 2 hours. You can actually have a match and then just flip your hands as if you're clapping hands and then throw a match, a lighting match into the river. Then the whole river will look like this fire that is coming.
That'll last for a few minutes.
Yes. And then there's a sound playing at the back. You know, they've got all of those things. So there are many people that not only from just a one room where you get voices, which is pre-recorded, or somebody's calling and then speaks on the loudspeaker or that sort.
Sure.
Because it's a collective effort. They invested money into doing that.
Yeah.
So there are many scams that they operate like that. But here's another thing also. They even recruit some of our unemployed women or girls who are very influent in speaking English, fluential in speaking good languages, English and other languages, to run their mini call center. So sometimes, even when yourself, you want to verify that this person work at such a place. You go through, you can even call the landline and it goes through and somebody answers.
And you're looking
Even
for the CEO and then they say, he's not
no,
here
he's
now.
out, he's gone to a meeting in Brakpan, but if you want his personal. So it's a group that operates. Now, in the past, the police used to struggle to a point of now that the money is being paid to a particular bank account. You go to that bank account, you find it's an identity theft. Or some girl, a young girl, will say, no, my boyfriend asked for my bank account. That's why there's 2 million deposited into the bank account. The police that time, they never used to arrest. They will just take down the warning statement of the account hold from their explanation. Nowadays, the system has changed. If money came into your account with your consent, you get arrested for that crime.
Yeah.
Now they've changed the method now of wanting direct money into the bank account or depositing money into the bank account. There's a case where we worked on. They told this woman that, you know what, you are very good luck in operating a business. Resign from your position at work, but don't give anybody money. Go and buy brand new cars and open a tourism shuttle business.
Yeah.
Then the person did that. Then guess what? After 2-3 days before the cars were picked up from the dealership, they called again to say, no, do not go there by yourself. Give us a consent to go and collect the vehicles because we need to perform certain rituals. Guess what? The certain rituals must take 2 weeks. After collecting those vehicles, they change the ownership to another third party, to another third party, to another third party. There goes the liquid cash.
And then they're gone.
Then they were gone. So they've got many ways. As long as you haven't fallen victim or know their modus operandi, it becomes difficult.
To pick up that I'm being conned here.
That I've been conned.
Or you're literally in the process of being conned. You can't see.
You can't see. Exactly my point. You can't see. And by the time you realize, and if you are brave to come out to tell your story like our sister has done, and belong into a group where now you comfort one another, that's when you realize that, oh, I was scammed this way, I was scammed that way. There are many people who keep quiet. And by keeping quiet, this thing is it can give you so much depression. There are a lot of people who go under enormous stress level to a point that stress, what it can do to you.
Someone lost 13 kilograms.
Someone lost 13 kilograms today. And not only that, you can even lose your life. So it's a good thing that today she can come to us and smile about this thing. It shows a good side. Believe you me, it does.
Yeah, because the lady with this story was a principal of a school and fell in love with a gentleman who came to register their child for school. And that didn't happen and so forth. But waqala ukushayela manje and the shellering went to another shellering and another date and fell in love. And the long story short, ended up losing 2.8 million rands. And the reason I raise it is because she says that night when the light bulb just went off or went on and realized that I could have been scammed because couldn't find this guy anymore on the phone. That night, she says, I started contemplating suicide. And she says, I remember thinking that, what am I going to say? One, to the kids, and how are they going to? I'd rather they talk about it and realize it when I'm no longer here to explain it. And that's how she saw it. Well, fortunately, she's still around to tell the story.
Yes.
But you're right in saying that it gets to be, the reaction is, you cannot predict it. I imagine that people probably already killed themselves because of it.
Yes, definitely.
I want us to carry on with the story. I get it now. Amadlozi avumile. But you are one of us. You're allowed. So what do you feel inside of you when you experience that? Are you getting excited?
Honestly, I wasn't excited. I was just supporting him because it's something he believes in. If, for me, the only thing I liked about him is that he was so, like someone who will say, even when you're not well, they'll be like, have you prayed? They'll be like, no, then let me pray for you. You pray for healing, you pray for... No, those people can play with your mind.
Yeah.
And the person who's outside would be like, I saw the comments on Twitter. I was like, ooh, these people, yeah, I don't know, because they've got their grandmothers and their mamas in Limpopo. These guys are everywhere. KZN, they're everywhere. So
what type of comments are you referring to?
the comments that say I was stupid.
Oh, okay. After the
And even say, ulayegile. I was like, what the hell?
don't worry, the day will come. Don't worry, the day will come. Where does the relationship move from this stage?
All right.
From the, now they agree, they are happy with you.
It's very fast. After they've agreed, they tell the boyfriend, say, call at home and ask for your parental blessing back. That was the message from the voice. Oh, I forgot.
What does that mean? Call who's?
The voice told the boyfriend he must call at home.
Oh, he's home.
He's home.
Yes.
And ask for his parental blessing.
Got you.
back.
Got you.
And the guy said, and then after a bag has arrived, they say you must come back after the bag has arrived. A week passes, and then the following week, the guy says, the bag is here. You must come. Okay. This room is always locked. Ne? And other ladies, they say it's dark. In my case, the light was on. I think the ancestor could hide very well in a perfect space without me seeing him. So I saw that box, and it's a size of a kist.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a kist size, but it had a drawer that you pull like this, and you can push it inside.
Okay.
So when I got in the house, it was there. The drawer was pulled out, it's empty. And he was like, yo, when I got to the airport to get this, I didn't know it was this big. I had to hire a van. I thought it's just a small bag. I was expecting a small bag. Remember, this person, he's acting as if he doesn't know this bag. Just like you, he's surprised.
Wow.
Okay, we get to the room. And this guy says, can we sing and pray? So I sing, I can't remember the song that I sing. I think it says, Namhla Nkosi siyamangala.
Okay.
And on that particular day, the ancestor is singing along with me. And the ancestor says, remember first time I got there, obviously they could see that I was shocked. And they just made me come and say, here, we don't do any rituals. We don't slaughter any animals. What we do, we just guide our people through life. And the first time I was there, I was told that, remember in the Bible, when Moses could hear God speaking, he could hear God, but he didn't see. This is the same scenario that is happening. It's just us ancestors. I was told not to share about the experience, but I did share with my younger sisters. I was like, yo, what I've seen here, the ancestors that are talking. But unfortunately, they didn't know about the scam. So they also believed. Okay, now we are in this room. We have done praying. The ancestor has already joined us singing. And he says, today you will see miracles. I'm sure you've heard about miracles, but today you will witness miracles. All right. And he says, put your hands, both of you, inside this bag and pray.
Gule kist.
Yeah. We pray, it's open, it's empty. And then he says to the boyfriend, push it inside. He pushes it inside. And then he says, open it again. He opens, this time he opens the drawer is now heavy. It's full of money. 200 rand notes, 100 rand notes, full.
And you were looking during this time. You saw everything.
We opened, yes. Obviously, most people, when they pray, they close their eyes.
Yeah.
You pray, but we said our amen, and then he pushed the drawer. I was looking. There was nothing inside. Closed it, pushed, pull it out.
Bang.
Bang.
Clearly, it's not magic. It's a trick.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the trick? When you play back that moment, it's never easy to try to decode a magic trick. But when Mawikabanga going back to that time, what do you think happened?
I still don't know. I've been doing my own research and trying to find out. I would say, even at school, they will do some funny things that are magic. Probably it's the magic, or it's what they call
It's not magic. It's a trick. You just don't know what the trick is.
I don't know what it is. I still need an answer for that one, probably. I'll get an answer today, because most of the things have been answered in terms of the voice, how it sounds like. They connect some wires. They make their own mini studio from the ceiling that goes to the...
So they're listening and they're talking.
The person who's talking was hidden there was a hidden wardrobe. You wouldn't see it. They covered with those boards.
So that's why they're able to hear you.
So that's how they were able to hear me and respond.
And sing along. So now, what happens to your thoughts now that there's a miracle? There's money all over.
Remember, when we see this money, it's this one who reacts and he's shocked. He's even shaking. That guy can win awards. Oprah, I'll give them to him. He can act.
What?
So he was like, oh my God. And then the voice says, this money is for both of you, since we've approved the relationship, so that you can start your life debt-free. This amount is 14 million. It's for both of you.
What?
And then he says, my son, you need to look for another place where you will stay with my daughter. My daughter, you said you have got kids. Yes. How many? 2. You should go and open savings account for your children. The money, I will instruct you how much you're going to put in each savings account, but your children, they will only use that money when they go to university.
At this stage, I wish you would open the closet and find this guy who's talking.
Remember, you can't see the closet because it's covered with the boards.
I'm a little frustrated at this stage.
You can't see, you're seeing miracles. What the hell is happening? Oh God, at least this time around, I'm not getting a man who's asking me for money. I'm getting the one.
You're getting 14 million.
I'm getting 14 million.
Calvin, tell me though that the tricks, the magic tricks, they all sorts. Flip, we've seen people get out of a coffin in South Africa pretending to be alive, rather to be dead. Poor guy died indeed a few weeks later. But the magic tricks, investment in what looks like magic tricks and trickeries. Already when you started this conversation, we started with the slamos. And those are magic tricks. Have you picked up on a pattern that has to do with the world of one ancestors and the world of just disbelief?
Yeah, look, like I said, they invest a lot of money into this.
So
they invest a lot of money into these tricks. I remember this house was of this particular guy. So every object, he's in control of it.
Of course.
be it a specialized cupboard, to do the trick. So if it was a cupboard from her house and he just popped in and then there goes the cupboard and what have you, we will be scratching our head. But everything is orchestrated. They invest a lot of money on these things and they know how to perform this particular tricks.
Yeah.
They do it all the time.
Wow.
There are many instances. I remember one of the scenario that we've dealt with, whereby a particular lady was also followed. Wherever she goes, even into hotels, this particular guys will call with a private number and change the voice and say, the ancestors have called, and they don't want you in that hotel, in that meeting. We don't approve of it. And she will literally sit 2 seconds and then move away from the seat and just, pay the bill and go and leave out of the meeting. Because the other main thing, they make sure you don't communicate a lot with a lot of people because they might open your eyes. So they keep it by you until they finished all this shenanigans or the project, because you are being called the project. Remember, Sam will conduct this project. Tomorrow is James. So they change projects. So project A, it's this particular guy that will deal with that project.
Sure.
Now, coming to that one of, after the lady has now confessed that, a particular voice was calling me anonymous. And then I asked her, does your ancestor speak English? Then he said, damn it. Those are some of the things, the signs that I was
you don't
supposed
pick
to.
up.
But it was too late, unfortunately. But they invest a lot of money. They know how to play these tricks. But if you don't know these tricks of theirs, you'll fall into them and only realize at a later stage.
Let's go to this small point of the use of ancestors, just generally. What is it about the idea of ancestors that makes us so easily manipulated by me saying to you, no, your ancestors are doing this? Let me give you an example. I was meant to fly to Durban for the July thing a week ago. I couldn't sleep the whole night. My flight was at 7 or so in the morning. I only fell asleep at 5:30. So, and that means I had to wake up immediately. And I missed my flight. I accepted that. On my way from the airport, I get a call saying, we managed to get you another flight. Go back quickly. I drive back to the airport. When I walk in, this guy checks. It's like, you missed it by 2 minutes. We just closed it. And because there was a long queue, we gave your ticket to someone who was on standby. My thoughts were, well, abavumi. How can I miss 2 flights in one event? And so the concept of us, abotaki, using ancestors as such a strong belief that we're even willing to listen to a total stranger tell us about ancestors. What is it about us that makes us do that based on your findings? You'll help me from your perspective as well.
Look, culturally speaking, we respect in Africa, the whole Africa, we respect ancestors. And all of us, whether be it Muslim or Christians or any other religion, the body dies, the spirit lives. So that's why even when you are born, I'm sure if we go deeper, you ask the parents, they'll tell you, no, you are named after so and so, and you live by their spirit. So that is our first point of departure.
Yeah.
Now, remember in the same scam, some they come pretending as if they are Italian guys or some European guys, because there are those who don't even do the meeting. They do it over the phone or the internet and social media. Now, those ones, they'll never tell you about ancestors and that. Now, the ones that come close to you, they first check how you respect issues of ancestors. Not muti and rituals and all of that. Once they find out that you respect ancestors combined with Christianity, they will emphasize on that.
They'll use that.
Then if you say, no, I'm very angry at my ancestors, and they won't waste time to recruit you to follow ancestors' route, but they'll go straight to what you believe in. The minute I come in your life and I tell you, hey, you've got a beautiful studio. Yeah, no, your ancestors, yeah. Then you
I say, yeah.
You start telling me that, yeah, no. my great-grandfather, I'm named after. He used to play a guitar. He used to have, this was his dream. So then I emphasize on that.
Yeah.
So they study that moment so quick to be perfect their con artist, their role.
Why do you think he went to ancestors in your case? Because you immediately said you were actually in your case he didn't quite go to ancestors, but because he went to Christianity and religion and prayer, but he ended up using ancestors as part of the mix of tricks. Why do you think he did that?
I think that's their scam, right? They don't have any other. They will use, but they will channel it into your own beliefs. Like when they said to me, we don't do rituals, we don't slaughter any goats, we don't pray, you will not pray to us, you pray to God. They emphasize that. So they channel it to your beliefs. And for me, how they got into me, I lost my sister in 2021 to COVID. And she was a bubbly soul.
That's geese.
So I used to dream about her. She will be saying to me, "Hey, Mtase, now I can see everywhere. I can go everywhere." So my dreams would be like that. I had few dreams of her, dreaming about her, telling me those stories and stuff. So in my mind, after those dreams, I had this mentality, maybe people who are gone, they can see everywhere.
Based on
the dream. That is how I believed it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have.
God. Oh, so that little moment helped in getting the story to be believable.
Yes.
Next chapter. We are taking it in chunks. What happens next now? Now there's money that comes out of Amakist.
There's money. There is a boyfriend who's very excited and crying at the same time, shaking for that matter. He's thanking his ancestors. Thank you, Papa. Thank you, Papa. Then the ancestors now says, this is 14 million. It's a large amount of money. For you to keep this money at home, it's very much unsafe. We all agree. And for you to take this money to the bank, no one will believe you when you say you got this money from the ancestors. It's the ancestor that is saying that.
And you agree.
And I agree. And I agree. It's the laws that I know.
Yes.
I work for the financial institution myself. And then the ancestor says, now you, son, you need to call at home. Call your mama and your uncle. Both of them, ask them to borrow you 350,000 each.
Okay. Why? We have 14 million.
You, my daughter, go to the banks and borrow the maximum loan you can get. You are told which mall to go to, Greenstone.
Okay.
Which banks to go to. And he says the reason for, remember, I've said this even when I was on Radio 2000. These people, first time when we go to visit them, for all the ladies, they cook for us.
Okay.
They give us water. Do you know what they put inside?
What?
and people, they will be like, how come you couldn't see this? I won't lie, they do use some magic. Motsi is there in their part of scam.
So you think they put something in your food or water?
They do.
To do what?
To work on your mind. You become a zombie, you agree. You know, when I was with a boyfriend, I would ask him so many questions. Like, okay, now we are told to go and get the loans. I ask him, okay, but why were you not blessed with your baby mama? Because you said you've got a daughter. And he'd be like, I don't know. I will ask. Then the next time, the ancestor says, hey, my son has been telling us that you are asking so many questions. And then the ancestor answers the question and he says, the reason why he was not blessed is because he didn't bring the girl to us to approve. He went there, dated a girl, impregnated her. So we gave him a punishment. And this guy over here, he's like, okay, after we saw that money, now I understand how my brother got rich. He said he had a brother who was in Tanzania. He said, my brother got rich and he couldn't tell me when I was asking him where he got the money. He said that because the ancestor said he's giving us this money and we have only 3 conditions if you want to keep this money. We give to the poor. We remain humble people. Thirdly, we never reveal where we got the money.
Of course. Yo.
Okay, giving, it's me. Helping people, that's me. Just keeping a little secret where I got the money. It can't hurt.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. And then this one is saying now, oh, my brother, no wonder he couldn't tell me where he got the money. Probably the ancestors
gave him 14 million.
Yeah, they told him not to reveal where he got the money.
What was the reason for instructing everyone by the ancestor to go get loans? There's money. I don't understand that bit.
The money is there, right? But you can't deposit it at the bank because they'll ask you so many questions.
You can chow it in cash.
You can't keep it at home because it's not safe.
Okay.
So they want you to go for loans, both of you, so that they can take the money from the bank, mix it with the money they are giving you.
To launder the money. Yes.
Yeah. After the mixing process, when you start depositing the money, they will use their superpowers. So that when you deposit the money, it appears as if it's the money that is coming from the loan.
Hi, when I come in, but what's the problem?
And remember, I'm alone here. I don't know what is happening. There are 10 people who are strategizing. They've got all
Around
answers.
you.
These people, they work as a group. This guy, he will get a call from his friend Kevin every time. Like, I'll be like, why is your friend always calling you? But
it's fine. You find. So what are you thinking? They give him.
Yeah, they're obviously guiding him, telling him, don't do this, and they speak their language you can't even hear. And I think as South Africans, we can invest in learning other languages. At least if someone is saying, I'm from Congo, know how Congo speak. Because for me, I didn't know. He said he's from Southern Sudan. He was speaking his language, but only to find that he's from Uganda.
Okay.
The language he was speaking it's Uganda. Yeah, it's Uganda. So I didn't know that, but if I knew that, I would have picked up that this person is obviously lying to me.
Sure.
Because everything is a lie. His name is a lie. His surname is a lie. Everything about him is a lie.
Is it a syndicate? Because, and I'm going to go to Jabu very soon to find out, because she was instructed to go to a specific mall, a specific bank. Already I get a sense that there's a connection between the scammer and the bank, someone at the bank, for example. Is it a complete connection of a syndicate where there's so many people involved in all of this?
Yeah, no, definitely there is a syndicate, because sometimes if you need cash, like maybe 100K, with the loss of the bank, you have to order that money, and not also for that money you must give explanation, not for the money to be red flagged. So obviously they've got internal information to monitor if the money is delivered and there are no any signs of police awareness or so they do have connections even in the banks.
Yeah. The police system? Look at, she agrees immediately.
Well, yes, there are rotten police that operates with this type of syndicates.
Yeah.
The difficult part, which we can talk about it later on, the challenges of the police. But there are rotten police that operates, because some of us, we do know most of the syndicates, even where they hang out in Pretoria, Sunnyside.
Sure.
We can boldly say that. And that's why on the very same article that you have acknowledged of IOL, we come on record to say, some of these people, because they even take pictures with our women here at home, they need to put up those pictures so that other victims can be
say,
aware.
I know this guy.
Because there are challenges to deal with such matters in the police, even when there are tax teams. Because remember, no matter how hard you can, at the end of the day, try to push, and we've seen that in other cases, the matter becomes civil to say there was a mutual agreement between the two parties, especially if the woman is still naive, can easily say, you know what, let's give this man another chance. Maybe because I didn't see him for 4 months, he was busy with other things. And we've come across such situations
Really?
where the suspect will cry foul and say, baby, sorry, I didn't tell you. I had to go home. You remember I told you about the baby.
I was
the
in
baby
Sudan.
And
And
the,
now,
the victim
I'm back.
the victim in front of everybody will say, no, I'm dropping off the charges.
Wow.
And they become naive. And then it becomes a point that, you know what, next time if you feel that this man has run away with your 3 million, rather send letter of demands because you know one another. There is a mutual agreement. So it becomes a challenge when it comes like that. That's why I'm saying their faces, they need to be exposed in some of these portals.
Yes.
And
social media. And
once
all of
we
this.
go to Sunnyside where they hang out and drink together while they plan for their next victim, we are able to,
Like this one.
like that one. I mean, this one is easy to find. This one. This one is easy to find. And
He bought a new Mercedes, this one,
yes.
using the lady's
So you
money.
know him. Well, at least you've heard about it.
Yes, we have our organization
Your
that we are
network.
starting.
So you
Yeah.
know what this guy has done.
All of these faces you'll be seeing, I know all of them.
Yes.
I know all of them.
Here, so far, it's okay. You haven't spent money. You haven't taken out the loan. What gets you to a point where you say, I agree. Let me go get the money. Something must push you. Are you at that stage yet of the story where you feel, yeah, okay, I want to be a part of this?
A strange thing that happens, and it's for all of us. We feel like someone is watching over us. We feel like the ancestor is you have this, uvalo, ne? Yeah. And you will do whatever that the ancestor had told you.
So from that moment on,
Yeah.
you felt like I'm being watched.
Yeah, you feel like you're being watched. You go and do what the ancestor told you. Remember, they said they're giving you this money. It's for your own good anyway. It's not like I went there looking for money, and some people will say, it's greediness that gets people. I'm not a greedy person.
Yeah.
It's just people, it's a person that took advantage of me. So, and no one will say, if I say I'm giving you 6 million and you run away from it,
No.
you can't. So I went to 3 banks. By God's grace, it took long. I had to go and take my kids from school. That's why I couldn't get more loans. I think...
But pause. And I know you want to complete your thought. No, man. That moment matters for me. When getting a loan completely makes sense. Because that's a key part of the story. When now you're waking up in the morning and you're saying, I'm going to take 300 or however much. What was it about this entire thing that made 100% sense that you're going to take your money or hard-earned money? What is it? Is it love? Is it excitement? Is it the potential of that other money, the 14 million? Or is it, well, I'm part of this thing, I might as well see it to the end? What is it?
I guess it's love. You're seeing your future partner here.
Okay.
The ancestors have agreed. They've given you. They're blessing you with money, and the conditions that have to go with the money. Again, you are not supposed to do any ritual. If you can do any ritual, the money will vanish. So you are given a platform to be the Jabu that I want to be. Who's rich? Who's helping people?
Okay.
That was for me.
But was he calling to remind you? Was he saying...
No, they go with, they say, no, tomorrow, my son, go with her. They make sure you don't change your mind. You don't get a chance to, they make sure you go from their house to the bank. You don't even go home, because when you go home, you might get home and tell your friend, yeah.
And then
the friend says, no. Yeah.
So it was immediate.
Yeah. They said tomorrow, go and do 1, 2, and 3.
And you did.
Yes, I did.
You're filling up forms.
I'm filling up forms. even ancestor will say, if they ask you, what are you going to do with the money? Say you are renovating your house. Okay, first bank, go to ABSA, get 348,000. Second bank. Oh, I asked the ancestor, I was like, okay, my understanding is that when I take a loan from this bank and then I move to the next bank to apply for a loan, they should be able to pick up that I've just applied for another loan. It should raise an alarm. And they say, my daughter, just go. You will see our superpower. I went to obvious first bank. I'm not expecting any problem because the first bank I'm going to, I do have a good credit score. I had a very excellent credit score.
Yeah.
I just wasn't in debt because I didn't want to be in debt. I was living my normal life. I didn't want to live a life that will make other people say, ha, you're driving that car. I just wanted to be comfortable with my kids. So I get to the next bank. I'm not even asked that I've just applied for another loan. The lady is processing. Then I go to the next bank. I also get the loan. The total loan amount was around 550,000.
Was it relatively quick to get this?
It was relatively quick.
Yeah.
Then I was told, because the ancestor had previously asked if I had an account with FNB, I was like, no. Then I was like, I must open the account with FNB. So the next day, I'm like, I'm not going to open an account with FNB because African Bank have given me a card, because when they give you a loan, I think they want to increase their sales. They also open a savings account for you. And he's like, no, you need to open an FNB account. I'm like, I'll do that tomorrow then. I go and fetch the kids from school, come back, get home. We go and open the account from FNB.
Yes.
The instruction is, when you get these loan amounts, transfer the amount, all the amount for the loans to FNB account.
To one account.
Make sure you don't touch any cent from that amount. Don't even use any cent. Okay? Transferred 550,000 to my FNB account. I think the money was in my account for 2 weeks or some stuff. I think they were busy scamming someone else, and then they remembered, this one. Because it took longer.
They had another project.
Yeah, they had another project. It took longer for them, because from when I hear from other ladies, immediately when your money lands on your account, the next day or two, then they tell you to go and withdraw.
But you say yours was...
Yeah, mine stayed for like 2 weeks in my account, and I'm not touching it. And I'm not alarmed because no one has taken my money.
You keep seeing it.
I keep seeing it. It's still there on my account. And then the boyfriend then says, he wrote it in WhatsApp. Baba says, you must come and present the money. I'm like, how do we present the money? I'm asking if electronically or physically. And he says, you must come. You go there. Papa says, you should go. Oh, when I got there, this one had withdrawn his money. It's a large amount of money. You can see it's coming from the bank, the way they fold it. Yes.
So he has.
He has.
Yeah, because he was also instructed.
He was also instructed to get his loan. So he told me that my mother has deposited the money, and they even told him what reference number that she should use. He said he withdrew it a day before that day. And the ancestor asked him, where did you withdraw the money? And he was like, at Kilani Mall. Okay. And then the ancestor says, you must go to FNB Kilani Mall. And I've never withdrawn. I'm not a cash person for that matter. I use a card. I even struggle with those people who makes you reverse, help you to reverse. I'm like, yeah, because I hardly have cash. So I go, I'm told now, go and withdraw your money and bring it here. The reason why you are withdrawing the money is because we want to mix the money. They introduce you slower. When you take a loan, you are not told you're going to withdraw this money.
You got a loan.
You got a loan.
You're thinking, if anything, you're going to transfer.
Yeah, transfer it back or take it back to the bank. Then say this other instruction is coming 2 weeks after, it's saying, need to withdraw the money. this one has withdrawn his. You can see it. It's there.
You saw it.
Yeah, and it's from the bank. That one wasn't fake money. It was real money.
You
They
don't know.
they had scammed it from someone
Jabu,
else.
You don't know.
Yeah, they got it from another victim.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I go and withdraw the money. And okay, I'm told if they ask you if you made an order
Okay. For the money.
for the money.
Yes. Because all this is proper legal money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, got the explanation.
Exactly.
I'm told you should take your loan statements as you go and withdraw. It's the voice that is speaking. And then when they ask you if you ordered the money, you must say yes. I was like, why should I lie and say yes? They said, just trust us. We will use our superpowers. I get to the bank. I'm told, okay, I say I'm here for withdrawal. They ask me, do you make an order? I say yes. Someone goes to the system and says, yes, we've got an order of 500,000.
You didn't do it.
I didn't.
Okay, so so now we know
Yes.
they're working with someone at the bank.
Definitely.
Somebody made an order for that money.
Yes. They know the system. They
Okay.
know the system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
'Cause
Okay.
the ordering of such amount of money, just to interject, you have to also do it through the bank manager. Has to be aware because not only one person can sign off that particular
That's
amount.
true.
Yeah.
Yo.
So the manager has to be aware of such an order.
Somebody made an order on your behalf.
Yes.
Yo. Okay.
I'm like, okay, superpowers, they work for real.
So at that stage, you truly believe in these powers.
Now I'm trusting to believe in these powers. You see, now magic. I'm first surprised why it was not. But I even asked them in my own organization why they can't even tell me how long does it take for the credit bureau system to update or to show that you've just applied for a loan. Does it take a day? Because these scammers, they usually, you go in one day, go to all banks. Probably there's something that they know about the system.
The banking
They are
system.
using the loopholes that they know with the banking system. It's either it refreshes after a day. If you do everything within the period of 5 or 6 hours, they can't pick it up. I don't know. I still don't have answers. I've tried to inquire within my organization. They couldn't respond.
But you feel...
And I was a bit disappointed because I was... If you're speaking to someone who's a physical manager, managing all the branch, he needs to have that information and know about it. I couldn't
remember
get
at the end of the day. Remember at the end of the day, this was one-sided love. Now, besides that, with the banking system, the bank has to make money. So if you come for a loan and your credit score is clean, they'll
give you the money.
They'll give you the money knowing their interest. That's how they make the money. So, but the guys, they do it so sophisticatedly, so quickly, so that, nothing is questionable.
Yeah.
But, the worrying thing is that of the incident of ordering the money, and the bank was already aware of that. So it shows that they've got serious connection within that bank.
Which is possibly why they keep telling you to which bank to go to. And FNB, you were told put all the money must be in one bank. So clearly there's a connection.
Definitely. That's why we say somebody also inside monitors the money that is, is definitely there and it will be transferred into that particular.
Project Job, they know.
Yes, Project Job.
Project Job, that's active.
Project J. Yeah.
While we are in that note, there is a lady. She met a girl. She went into these herbal shops, met this girl, and this girl was like, your ancestors want to give you a lot of money. Ended up consulting. Fast forward, they made her resign. She to withdraw her pension. But what is interesting about that is that on the day of withdrawal, she withdrew R1 million. She didn't make an order. She went to Sandton branch at 4 p.m. The tellers closed at 3:30 p.m. Everyone was coming to see the tellers. They were told,
it's late.
It's late, tellers are closed. Someone who was supposedly a manager came, opened for her. She withdrew R1 million. At the same bank, FNB.
Your bank?
No, it's not my bank.
Not your branch, but the same.
No,
Same bank
it's mostly Cresta, Kilani, and Sentin.
Yeah. No, I think with the banking institution, those banks, they need to be alerted and they must have their own internal investigation. This is very serious.
Yeah.
Especially, with a businessman, if you constantly withdraw such large amount,
It becomes a pattern.
it becomes a pattern
Yeah.
to a point that, I know with some of the banks, if they will run out of, let's say they've got $500,000 by the closing of the time, they can even go as far as taking other money from the ATM, taking the $500,000, another $500,000 from the ATM and order money for the next day and give it to a client who they know the pattern. But this one's definitely those
It's a once-off.
banks,
It's never happened before.
they need to follow up this. It means those other people, they fall part of the syndicate and they benefit on the other side.
I wrote to the bank. I wrote to them. I told him, this is what happened to me. This is how it went. And I asked them to do some internal investigation. As I was speaking to the guy who was going to carry my investigation, I asked him the question, how do you ascertain if a person who's making an order is a right person? And they said they don't check that because of their controls, because some internal staff can get the information and arrange something. And I was like, okay, is there a possibility that someone made an order on my behalf? And the guy said, yes.
That is possible.
That is possible. But when I wrote to the bank, I also wrote to the ombudsman.
Yeah.
But I was very disappointed because they only focus was that you took your own money. The bank followed all the process. I was like, in my email, I've got 2 other incidents. It's not just me. Probably the bank with me, they might have followed other other processes. But there is a lady who I spoke to. I do hope and pray that she's alive because her phone is not working. I lost contact with her in December. Her phone has been ticking once. But what happened to her, she went to the bank. And when she got there, they asked her if you made an order. She was like, no, I didn't make an order. They said, come back tomorrow. As she was outside, she texted the auntie who was accompanying her. They saying, I must come back tomorrow.
Scamming auntie.
The scamming auntie. The auntie says, no, go back inside. They will assist you. She went back inside. After she went back, they said, no, your husband made an order for you. And they gave her money.
So that means the first person she spoke to probably didn't know about the order. And somebody else knew about the order. That's why they said, go back. We know you're
so
going to
the right person has been contacted.
But
No?
yeah. The client is here. Wena. The banking system.
Yeah, no. They mustn't play victim here. And also to protect their client. And we need to make it a point to them. It's easy for a lifestyle audit of the tellers and the manager who were involved. Let them check their cell phone record. Who did they communicate with? Or did they receive any SMS?
And during that time.
During the time. Or during the day even.
Yes.
But they are deleting already.
No, but you can delete. You can check the SMS.
Yes, there are systems that can actually retrieve, even delete it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if a call is made, you can't delete that.
No.
It stays in the tower. So the banks, they need to improve their system. And this is not only the problem with the banks, even with cell phone networks providers, where we experience a lot of so-called SIM card hijack.
Oh, yes.
Your number disappears from the radar and someone else owns that number and they get an OTP and they transact.
Oh, my
So
God.
it's a combination of, some of the rotten employees.
In the system.
In the system.
Yes.
Who operates the system? Proper lifestyle auditing needs to be done.
Wow.
In to conduct such investigation. So our first point of departure, get their cell phone.
The people involved.
Yes, get their cell phone. Who are they communicating with? Before you even check salary versus their lifestyle.
And obviously because you're dealing with someone who hasn't done this only once. The employee now in the banking system. This is extra money that they're making all the time.
Yes.
They don't do it once. That's why they have a relationship
Yes.
with these people.
Or maybe perhaps because crime intelligence, we are told nowadays they do their job. Maybe we report it to crime intelligence to infiltrate the syndicate.
Sure.
Because it is not good for the business. And now we end up seeing such syndicates
Yo.
even operating with them and taking such opportunities. It's unacceptable.
So you now have 500,000. You're told to go withdraw it. You are able to draw 500,000 rands cash.
Yes.
Brave. We telling
A bag.
So you took a bag with you. Brave. He's like, I'm a 200, I'm 100. Bye.
They mix, they count it there and they rip it there.
Ulo machine wako.
Yes. It was the first time I've seen. I was like, oh God. Actually, money, you can buy a house with the 500,000, but it looks small.
I can't believe
That's the only experience I got from this.
that it feels light.
It feels very light. So,
And you did. How are you feeling? Ivalo, what's going on?
you know, I'm not feeling any value. Remember, I'm accompanied by the brother.
He's here.
He's here.
By the brother and the ancestors.
And the ancestors.
And you believe their ancestors are here.
I did believe him for some stupid reason.
And money is in a bag.
The money is in the bag. We now go to the house.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm not even thinking.
Again, just to interject, the main question is, was it only her 500? Because I know he must also have his own.
Yes. No. She said there was money.
It was
So
withdrawn the
it
date
means-
before.
Or his was withdrawn the
Yes.
day.
His was already there.
Because that is their modus operandi.
Yeah.
They have to come up with
Absolutely.
something.
Because you said his money was already there, possibly scammed somebody else. That's why
Yes.
there was cash. So you were saying, because my question, you know, in Pizzi, like you're Pizzi, you're organizing something. That's why I'm curious with you. What do you think you're doing? And you are in a haze, in a daze? What are
You
you?
are not thinking. You are in your own world. Like, you don't reason like a normal person will reason, honestly.
Is that why you suspect Umuti and things like that?
I do now believe in African magic. I didn't before. But
Yeah.
now I do. I'm a critical thinker. I ask so many questions. I analyze stuff. My job has to do with analyzing. I've worked as an internal auditor in some stage, but I was still knocked.
Which brings me to this point. Is there a specific target market? Yalabantu. Do they focus on, because you say you're analytical, you're an intelligent woman, you know things. Mari, they got you. Is there a specific kind of person that they go for? The super smart or the not so smart, or everything goes? What has been your observation?
No, everything goes.
So it doesn't
Everything goes. Once they are in, then they check your capability of the amount of money that you can withdraw.
I'm more questioning the type of your mind, let alone your money.
Yes.
Like, are they going for the weak? Like, you know how tigers go. When tigers don't want to fight with a big impala. They want to fight with the small one. They want the sick, the one that's slower when the others are running. So in this case, do they go for the weak or as you put it, probably
No,
everyone?
they go for the super strong. Remember, women who are very super strong, their mentality, they want to settle. They want their lifestyle that they don't want this,
they don't want the
partying
weak.
and night. No, they
In
don't
this
want the weak.
example.
So they also come there. They know how to tame the strong one. And then after taming the strong one, now they go for how much money can I pull out?
Because the strong one is
Of
likely
this-
to have a lot of money.
The
as
strong
well.
ones, they've got the opportunity to, they know their worth. Let me put it that way.
Interesting. The strong one is also unlikely to tell after they've been scammed because they don't want to look weak.
Definitely.
To all of us.
The embarrassment.
Is more for a strong, and we keep saying women in this case because you are the story. But I'm sure there are guys, which we'll get to as we go. So they go for everybody: the lawyer, the teacher, the accountant, the analyst, the financial advisor. You get caught up.
Yes, no, they go for the strong one. Those that say, I know my worth.
Ngeke bangithole mina.
I don't need childish stuff. Young boys who's gonna waste my time, Ben 10s or whatever. I need to settle. I've got a checklist of what I want, and once they get into their life, then they lure them to know that this one is able to. We can pull out $1 million or 2 million or 1.5. Sometimes they even check your credit score
To
see that
know how to.
okay, she can afford. She's not even blacklisted, so they go for that. Go and get a loan.
It's possible they check.
If she was not blacklisted, then they will check. Okay, if you are not blacklisted, how much are you earning? Can you take an early pension? So once they are in, they will now choose whether for you to take early pension or to get a loan. But at the end of the day, they leave you with serious misery and depression and stress.
Yes. Let's keep going.
Maybe if I can add on
Yes,
that one.
please.
The other target they have is people, mostly women who are in their late 40s, 50s. Anyway, I'm the only one who's younger in my group. They target those ones, especially those who are working for government, nurses, teachers,
Do you know why?
because they know if you have worked for more than 20 years, they can get millions from your pension.
Sure. Okay. Yes, let the movie moves on to another stage. You were able to carry money.
Yeah.
You're going home.
We're going to his house,
course.
not my home.
Yes.
We go to his house,
To the cupboard.
to the ancestors. The ancestor says, take out the money and put it in a white cloth. This one is putting his own money. I'm weighing my money. For real, this is 700,000 because mine is smaller. We put it in a...
Oh, you can see the difference.
I can see the difference.
That his money is more.
That his money is more. It's 700,000.
Do you think that's an important factor?
It is to play with your mind, right? That you are both doing this, you both took loans. It's kind of convincing. It's not just me.
And his is more.
And his is more.
You were commenting?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
His must be more so that, even in your mind, the lady will think, if we lose, he's losing more. And I love him. Remember, it's a one-sided love. It's a
I
one-sided love.
forget at the heart
Yes.
of all of this is love.
Love.
Camarada.
One-sided.
I keep forgetting because now it's become such a business transaction that
Yeah.
I forgot that more than anything else, you
No,
are in
it's
love.
Yes. So they invest more so that then you can see that, you know what, my love might lose more. So I'm going with my love. What my love does, I'm there.
And this is his ancestors. He knows them well.
Okay, mine is on a white cloth.
Mine is on the white cloth. We tie it and we are told to pray over it. And then the voice says, as ancestors, we are now coming out to take the money so that we can start the missing process.
Okay.
And the ancestor then says, are you comfortable with seeing ancestors? Asking me. And I said, no.
You said no.
No.
This is a well-lit room. Who pride?
Yeah, and this one, he says he's also not comfortable. The ancestor explains that, yeah, probably you're right, because seeing ancestors, it's not a pleasant surprise. You might feel some goosebumps, your hair shrinking, and then we are both asked to go outside of the room for 2 minutes and come back. As we go outside of the room, we come back, the money is gone.
So now you know there was a guy in the closet.
Yes, I know, because I went to the house. I did my own investigation because my detective didn't want to investigate.
So you went to the house and found?
I went to the house. My interest was in that room. I found that there was a hidden wardrobe on the right-hand side. They had removed the doors as well. The doors were down. And you can see when you see that there was a heavy person who was standing there because it was damaged.
Oh, yeah, my daughter. All right, now Imal is gone. The ancestors taking it into the hidden
ancestors
cupboard.
took the money. We come back. Okay, they say, my daughter, because you took the money from the banks, we will make sure that you don't use any of your money to pay this. This process will take about 2 to 3 months. Within those months, we'll give you the money that you need to pay your installments. They asked me, how much are my installments?
What is the process? What exactly are we trying to achieve? To double the money, to triple the money? What are we doing? Because remember, in the back of my mind, I still have a 14 million year kist.
They are mixing the 40
Yes.
million with the one that you got from the bank.
So they're saying while we're doing
While
this,
they
it's
mix
3
that
months.
they mix that money, then they will give the money to you so that when you deposit it, it will appear as if it's the money that is coming. The bank will see it as the money that is coming from the loan. So
Yes.
we will not be alerted.
Okay.
The bank will not be alerted. Okay, now the money is gone. Fast forward, I go there. I was told to come a day before my payday. We go inside the prayer room, we pray. And since we are both not comfortable, we sing the ancestors, we leave the room, and then we come back. The money is on top of the Bible. Okay, at least you trying you gain the faith. Okay, at least I got
I
the
can
money.
pay.
I can pay. This is not that bad.
Uh,
Second month, same thing.
You're saying something that stands out for me. You're saying it's not that bad.
Mm.
When you say it's not that bad, it means a part of you
A part
was
of me
worried.
was worried. A part of me was no, it's legit.
And a part of you was love.
And the part of me was love and naiveness, thinking that the person who claims to love me loves me for real.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have known that he doesn't love me because he was acting like someone who really.
So during
loves
this
me.
time of the money now, white cloth, money disappears, and now you now have to pay. There is still the lovey boyfriend, loving boyfriend.
Still a loving boyfriend. He calls me. I'm driving, taking kids to school. I just called to tell you I love you. Have a beautiful day. Do you think I'll ever believe someone who will say he loves me?
Oh, after your story, no one should ever believe anyone.
Because I will always question, does he really love me? Or maybe he's playing with my mind. It's a trauma. It breaks you as a person inside. But the only thing that is driving me is I don't want to see other people
Go through this.
It was a very painful experience. And my objective is to stop this nonsense that is happening in our country. It takes one person.
Let's get to it because I want to, when the movie now reveals itself, how long does it take you? How many installments do you pay? Let me ask that.
I got 2 installments
from them.
So
Nxumalo for 2 months.
Sejole for 4 to 5 months.
Okay, so they worked on Project J for good 2 months. Then they got the money. Then you were still jollying, but now it's a process of paying installments.
Sejole, he's still a loving boyfriend.
And you're not suspecting anything unusual.
I'm not suspecting anything unusual until there was this day I called him a few times. It rang. Then it clicked in my mind. What if this is a scam? But then as I called him, eventually I got hold of him. He explained and be like, yo, I'm sorry, my love, my phone, I broke the screen. Those guys, they can come up with every lie in the world. Shame, you'll believe them. It broke the screen and I left it to this person who fixes the phone. He didn't switch it off. I'm so sorry. I was like, phew, I was so worried. I need the number, your friend's number, so that when I don't get heard of you, I'll call your friend. And he was like, no, I'm not going to give another man my woman's number. And I was like, are you jealous? But you see, after that, I got hold of him. He's still a lovey-dovey. Okay, it's fine. Then on this 4th month, he's starting to act out. Okay. Remember this person, he claimed to be a person that is working.
Okay.
Every day he wakes up, go to work. He's in a meeting. He's working. I'm traveling to Limpopo, work related. He was working 7 days a week. So even it's on the Sunday that he was not working. Okay. He was working 6 days. Sunday he was not working. And on Sunday he's going to church. He never missed church for even one day.
Have you been to church with him?
No.
During this time? No.
He was in church.
Oh, these are the stories. So I'm working.
I'm working.
It's stories.
I'm not following. Like, remember, I work from home. Someone can see me that I'm working. He's driving and saying, I'm going to work. Every day he goes to work.
Well, we know he's working.
Yeah, we know he's working. He's working woman.
The question is, what kind of work is he doing?
Yeah. So, where was I?
No, we are on now the finding out. You've paid 2 installments.
Yes, I've been given 2 installments.
Yeah.
Then he's starting to act out. Then I remember very well. It was he had promised to see me on. It was Sunday and he didn't come. Then I was angry at him. I was like, "This is not the first time you are doing this." And
This is the anger your girlfriend.
Anger your girlfriend and
Okay.
the anger at you can't treat me like this. And even if you treat like this, I want my money from your ancestors and withdraw from this deal. Because imagine if you are rich, how are you going to treat me? If you promise things and you don't deliver to them. So I'm angry in that way. And he says to me, now he says to me, he can't come because his friend can't give him the car. I forgot to mention, it's another part of their scam. After a month or so after meeting you, the car will break down. His car will break down. Then he uses his friend's car.
Okay.
They are doing that so that you don't get the number plates of the cars.
Sure.
Because now he's using a friend's car. You can't even take the number plates of a friend's car. His car broke down. He's fixing it while the ancestors are mixing the money. That is another thing they do. They will send you a video of them fixing the car. Like, go, 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 go. The car, I'm on the road, my love. Look at the car. Yeah, they did that too.
There's a lot of effort.
Yeah, they strategize. These people.
There's a lot.
And they'll be like, "Oh, that one is smart." They'll bring their smart one to
There's a project.
And remember,
J
they are
is
brainstorming.
special.
You are all by yourself. It's those people. They've been doing this for a while. And when you think, "Oh, I found love."
I want to get to the moment. Man. Maybe I'm rushing.
Okay,
The moment.
the moment
The
is
moment of.
I
I get to all you said he was meant to come. He didn't come.
Yes.
Kwatile as a girlfriend.
Kwatile.
This is a kind of a first sign of something, maybe. Because you said you felt like, could this be a scam? That's the first time you questioned it.
First time when he didn't answer the calls.
Oh,
After that,
that's-
I got hold of him and he was fine. And then now he's promising to come. He doesn't come. And then I'm angry as a girlfriend. I decide, this one, I'm going to his place without telling him. It was the 1st of May, holiday. Left my place at 6 a.m., drove to his place. When I got to his place, he was staying in a standalone house, but how you enter through the remote, the gates, the garage gates, then you enter the house. So when I came, I approached the house. Oh, the garage door is open. I just packed in, called him. Hey, where are you? He's like, I'm home. I said, please open for me. And he responded saying, you are not there. Like, how would you say I'm not there? And then I called him again. I said, I'm at your house. Open the door.
Yes, I'm inside the yard.
I'm inside the yard. He's like, no, I closed the garage when I left. But are you saying I'm crazy now because I'm saying your garage is open? I parked my car. He was like, oh, you know what? I thought you were joking. I was already on my way to work, so I will do a U-turn. You see, they're even working on a public holiday. There is no rest.
Oh. Did he make a U-turn?
He did. I said, send me a location, your live location. I want to see you are driving this direction. Came back. He got me. I was like, I'm not here for you. I'm here to speak to your so-called ancestors. I want my money back. I can't be treated like this by anyone.
So, but
you
this
know,
is,
Abo, I know my worth.
but this is a girlfriend that's upset. Guti, they are no longer treated as a proper girlfriend. You're starting to see signs of a boyfriend that's not the one you met.
Yes.
But these are small signs. Can we agree?
Yeah, these are
They're
small
not big signs. If it was a friend that was advising you, they'll say you're overreacting. Am I correct?
Yes, they said give him time. Maybe he's busy with something. So I'm like, you can't treat me like that.
Okay.
I'm that person. I don't mind meeting you. Then after a week, I realize you're not treating me right. I dump you, and my friend would be like, "Oh, that one, I dumped him." I'm like that. I don't.
So this was you that you
I
were
have my
about
own
to dump.
standards. Yes, I'm like, okay, now don't want to speak to you. I want to speak to your so-called ancestors.
I'm telling them.
I'm telling them that I don't want this anymore. If you are doing this now, how are you going to behave when you have money?
Yo.
Then
And how does he react?
he says, okay, fine. I go to the room. I don't sing today because I'm angry. And then the ancestor says, my daughter, you don't sound well. I said, yes, I'm not okay. And he's like, what happened? And I was like, this one is no longer treating me right. He's doing 1, 2, 3.
And the ancestor is talking.
And the ancestor is talking, he's doing 1, 2, 3. And the ancestor is like, my son, I'm so disappointed at you. Why are you making this woman cry? We told you that as you are bringing this woman here, we don't want to see her cry. At night, you must come for your punishment. I'm like, oh, these ancestors, I'm winning here.
Yes, they're on your side.
They're on my side. And then I'm like, actually, the reason why I'm here is because this one is not treating me right. So I'm saying, I don't want your blessing anymore. I just want the money that I got from the loans. I take it back. And if it's a stress.
That's true.
Yes. I'd rather not have it. So I'm like, okay. And the ancestor says, so my son, you don't love her anymore. And this one says, no, Baba, I do love her. And I was like, so why are you doing whatever they're doing? It's like, no, I'm sorry. I will change my ways. And then the ancestor says, my daughter, actually, we are done with the mixing process. What is going to happen is you don't even need to come here a day before your payday. I think they said on the 14th of May, they will be releasing the money.
Is it them
it's
realizing?
The first of, I think they are realizing this one is opening her eyes. We should pack. Actually, they had started packing because when I got there, his fridge was not there. And he was like, no, baby, I forgot to tell you that my fridge died because of load shedding. You wouldn't question that anyway. Okay. After that, they won't be giving me money because this one is saying he loves me. He wants to work things out. On the 14th, we are getting our money. And then I leave the house. I don't even want to hug him or kiss him because I'm angry. He kept saying, I'm sorry. I was like, I'll see from your actions. Then I leave. Before I left the house, while I was there, the ancestor then says, my son, you had told us that you are traveling this week for work purposes. And then I interjected. I was like, how come I don't know about his traveling plans? And the ancestor then comes again and says, oh, my daughter, my son, communication is very important in a relationship. If you do not communicate, things will not go right.
Sure.
You need to communicate. Women need someone who can communicate. I am like, oh, this ancestor is for me.
Yes. So far, so good.
So far, so good. I leave. I go to my place. He started calling again, apologizing, and that he became the first boyfriend that I met. And then he calls and says, remember it was Monday? He calls and says, on Wednesday, they are leaving for Limpopo. Okay, he wants to see me on next week. He's coming back next week, Thursday. He's saying, can I spend the whole of next week with you? Because we've been fighting a lot now. I want us to just be happy. I was like, okay, I'll see you then. He left. Wednesday, he called me when he got there. He's alive safely. Then he's like, okay. We spoke. After that, I slept. Friday, the same week. Remember, I wake up with good morning, baby, every day. I'm that girl.
So which way?
I sleep.
You're used to it.
I sleep with good night, baby. I love you. And the prayer, someone is praying for our relationship. Okay. This Friday, he sent me a good morning, lovey. Then I woke up late, rushing to take kids to school. Came back. I had a very busy day at work. So I'm thinking it's around 10. I'm like, I'm not even sure if I responded to his message. I'm checking on my phone. Okay, I did respond. After that, I get busy again. Then it's around 12. I'm like, okay, it's unusual that he hasn't called around this
yes,
time because I get calls. By the time it's 10, I will have been called once or twice. You see, every time I'm being loved and love bombed.
No one
told
no
how
one,
special I
just
am.
so you know, Jabs, we have to tell you, no man would really do that. That for me already is a big red flag. No man will call you 10 times. 3 times by what? 11, 12, you already got 3 calls.
No, he will call twice.
That's too many.
And then at night. He will call to check if I woke up during the day.
Udlile.
And then at night. And then obviously, he doesn't, I'm checking my phone. Oh, it's unusual. I dial his number. It's on voicemail. I'm thinking, okay, probably it's a network or something. I still work. Now it's afternoon. We haven't spoken the whole day. Okay. I go in my mind now. It's like probably he lost his phone. He will call me. Okay. But my intuition is telling me, go to his house. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I will go to his house. How would I get in there? Because he's not around. I know he's in Limpopo.
Okay.
And the only way to get in his house is through the remote. I don't have it. Okay, I didn't go.
This is you discouraging
This is
yourself.
me discouraging myself.
Yeah.
On Sunday, I'm thinking, let's just drive with the kids. It's good. It's a good thing I didn't do it because I usually go to Siloam Church. It's in Brakpan. I said, okay. I thought of going there and I didn't go. Then the Thursday that he's saying he's coming back, I decide, you know what? I'm going to drive to his place.
So he didn't speak to you. He's not available
No,
now.
his phone is still off.
And it's how many days? 4 days? 5 days?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Are you starting to feel...
I can't settle. I'm thinking so many things. What if I've been scammed? What if?
So now
that I can't get hold
the feeling
of
of scam is settling in now.
It's not really settling in. It's still there. What if? And I'm consoling myself. Maybe he doesn't know my number by heart. He might have lost his phone. At least he's coming back on Thursday. So on the very first Thursday, he said he's coming back. I was like, yeah. Let me just drive there. I went there, I'm a bit short, trying to jump and see. They usually stay in very secured places.
High walls
and stuff here. So I'm trying to jump. I can't see what is happening inside. Then I remember, first time I came here, I drove on another road that is in front. I got lost. Then when I got there, I parked. There's a swimming pool there. And there were curtains. I was like,
so does this road allow you to see
it allows
better?
me to see better.
Okay.
I'm now parking in front of the gate, the small gate. And it's a house to let. It's empty.
You can see inside the house.
Now, the front you can see because it's a front gate, has walls, but this part of a gate you can see, and there were curtains there.
Okay.
Now, there are no curtains.
Hey.
I stood there, spoke to myself. I was like, damn, I've been scammed. I drove.
That moment now.
Go back home. When I got home, I stayed with my niece, and I was like, while I was trying to breathe, I got a call from the school. Your daughter is not well. Come and fetch her. I drive to fetch her. I say to my niece, Buhle, let's get into the car. Then I started telling him, Deron is not the person you thought he was. He actually scammed me a lot of money. He wasn't here for love. And I got to school. I'm trying to be a brave mom. But I couldn't take it. I was breaking. I was broken. I couldn't hold my tears.
Oh.
I still had to fetch my son, and the kids, they're looking at each other. What is wrong with Mama? Remember, they know this person. They've seen him. They think oh, my mama got someone who loves her. My daughter will say, Mama, this guy, he really loves you. But I have an open relationship with my kids. So I was like, the next day I told them what is happening. This guy did this to me and I'm not okay. After that, I think I couldn't sleep for 2 nights.
Sure.
And on this particular Saturday, I went to my son. They had a big walk at school. So I was like, let me take you. He wanted to go, so I had to take him there. You feeling right or not?
You still have to be a mom.
You still have to be a mom. And then a big walk, we were walking. As we were walking, this one is busy with friends. I'm walking with my daughter. She's the oldest. And I'll break down. Like, she will hold my hand. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's go to the doctor. I need something to sleep. Then I went to the doctor. When I got to the doctor, I was like, hey. He came in and was like, and doctors would be like, how are you? How can I help you? I couldn't answer that question. How are you? I just broke down.
Wow.
And I told him, I'm not okay. This is what happened. And I need something to sleep. And probably can you refer me to a psychologist? And he was like, okay, are you suicidal? I was like, yes.
And then you...
I was suicidal. I was thinking of crashing my car in the wall. But I wasn't going to do it with kids. And the doctor then said, okay, let me look for a psychologist for you. He called different stations, hospitals, I mean. Eventually, he was like, okay, can you go to Primrose Hospital? I was like, Primrose is a bit far, I'm in Boksburg. And he was like, okay, Sanwat. He called and they said at Sanwat, they don't have a doctor. They don't have a psychologist. I was surprised. The whole Sanwat. But anyway, now I know he was admitting me. He was looking for a space so that they can admit me.
Looking for a bed so they can monitor you.
Yeah, but he didn't tell me. He was like, okay, after this, take this letter. Don't open it. Go to the doctor. To the hospital, Glenview Hospital, give them the letter. Well, then we went and fetched my son, went home. I took a shower because it was hot. We were walking. Then changing my clothes. I'm going to the hospital. I get to the hospital. I was like, I'm told, girl, we do not consult here. You are going to sleep. Not me crying again. I'm even in a psych hospital now because of a man.
You.
And then the lady who's a receptionist, she came to me, comforted me. She was so sweet. Spent 3 weeks in hospital.
Oh, that's not small.
Yeah.
Who's looking after the kids?
My niece is at home. She's closer.
Yeah.
But she can't drive, so I had to bring my brother here. He wasn't working then. He's working now.
Imagine all of that.
So he can drive them to school and stuff.
I want to bring in the factor of the embarrassment that comes with this. Give us at least a sense of some of the high-profile cases you may have dealt with where you saw someone as big as a minister, for that matter. Because earlier you referred to the important people that also get scammed. Everybody gets scammed. And they have to deal with the actual shock and embarrassment. What is your experience in this regard?
Yeah, I think let's first start with the trauma. It's very traumatic, what even Miss J has went through. And even the kids had to go through that.
Of course.
Because kids can feel when their mother is not well. And it was very unfortunate. But, in most instances, we always say that even police, when a woman come and report abuse at the police station, you must know she has given numerous chances to the abuser. So you can see and even sense from what Ms. J has told us that she had the belief that, you know what, things will be all right, things will be all right. Even a woman, when they are abused, they've got that nature, that strong nature that, you know what, this person maybe perhaps like with the excuse of the screen of the phone was broken or they still have that belief.
There's hope.
So that's why the ultimate or the ultimatum of the aftermath of these scenarios, they really break down.
Yeah.
And it's very traumatic.
Yo.
Now, coming to the point of embarrassment, there are many that don't speak out. Like you say, I remember there was one incident where one prominent politician, a female, thought she's communicating with the Italian man, a white man.
Okay.
We went and raided together with the police.
You
obviously.
found this man.
We found 5 guys.
Okay.
All of them had phones. Now, we had to now ask, they were so darker than myself. We had to ask, where's the Italian man? They kept on saying, there's no Italian in this house. Then we said, you know what, all of you stand up. Each of you take a phone on your hand. And then we buzz the phone of the prominent figure. Guess what? The phone rang, and on the other side, the lady said, that's the one.
That's the
Then we
number.
said, no, but he's not Italian. This guy is so dark. He says, no, leave that guy. Let him give you the Italian man.
They
Then the
delivered
man
it
said,
there.
you know what? Let me not waste your time. Let me speak to the prominent politician figure. The guy spoke, started greeting, bonjour, what, like an Italian. And he spoke like the English of the Italian man. Then on the other side, the lady said, that's the person we are looking for. So
So they're able to fake accents.
they're
in that,
able
in
to
that
fake
case.
accent.
Yes,
Like I said, they
accents
can fake accent. They've got call centers to run their operations. They invest a lot into this syndicate. Now, the embarrassment of the prominent lady said, you know what? Just ask him when can he pay back the money that I've already invested into him. And because the embarrassment was that there were moments where they had video calls and on both sides, they were pleasuring,
Oh, no.
So there were such visuals whereby the prominent person had to say, please go through on that guy's phone.
We need to...
Please delete or just take that phone if it's possible, because that is the embarrassment that I have to deal with. But other than that, I'm not going further with the case. But that guy must...
And by not
can
going
he
further.
at least promise to pay back the money? So, these scammers, they make sure, like I said, there's sexual intercourse. And then they make sure they get your naked pic. So they need something to
own
hold
something,
you with that, besides promising the one-sided love.
Yeah, this is frustrating. It really, truly is. And in your investigation, I want to bring in the guy element to this. What type of scams do they do to guys? Because we noticed there's a love factor with the ladies. Have you picked up anything when it comes to guys in this regard?
Yes, definitely. The same syndicates, same groups, they operate also to target the guys. But now with the guys, they use the method of the so-called washa scam.
What is that?
Washa scam is what we spoke about earlier, where I say they wash the money, you thinking that, okay, the money is increasing.
Yeah.
Now we need to double or triple this money. You need to buy a particular chemical. Now, once they do that, I remember there was one incident where I was called by another prominent business figure who said, hey, Chief, don't you know a particular chemical that can wash the money? Maybe these boys that are bombing even the ATMs or the cash in transit, because some of that money has got a dying stain. Maybe perhaps it's the same chemical that they use. Don't you know somebody, man? I need to wash 2 million. Then I asked the guy, is the 2 million sitting in a safe where you were told do not open that Kevin safe or that particular safe? He says, yeah, no, definitely. Then I say, where are you now? He says, no, today we are burying my mother. And I say, finish with the burial and then see me after a few days. Because I thought, if I break the news to him
that is being scammed.
You are being scammed. There is no such. And only to find out the same syndicate, we map them, in luring the woman. So they either go for the woman on promising them love, which is also one-sided, or they go for business guys to promise them to wash the money. So it's a washa.
Wow.
So, there are incidents also, just to what Ms. J, you guys have highlighted, that the guys come with big money. Now, remember what I told you about the Sangoma and the police. Now the policeman comes with, let's say, 500,000. And then the lady that is being lured will maybe raise up 250. They even sometimes go to, some mountain and say, you policemen, leave your gun here, leave everything, but leave it with the lady. Go and pick up, there's a white stone, you'll find two of them, together, and then come back. And then we need to perform a particular ritual, but leave all your money here.
Yeah.
The guy goes, a policeman, a purported policeman, fake policeman. Then he comes back and say, okay, now it's the lady's turn. Baby, you go, fetch the rock, but trust me, I'm here with them.
Yes.
Nothing will happen. And by the time the lady comes back, the car is gone with all the money. Uju. But these people, let me tell you, they are good at what they are doing. But at the end of the day, they leave people with so much stress. And even many guys have lost money with the so-called washa.
Double the money, triple the money.
Double the money. We washing the dollars. We washing this money. And yet it's just money that they cut, in a size of money. And they've got this paper that looks like money. And then they dip it into some... Even, you remember the Kool-Aid, the sweet aid. Yeah, orange Kool-Aid. They dip it in. And then later, all of you come back and then they take it out. They say, okay, all of you go dry this money with a hair dryer or leave it hanging at the back of the yard and then use it and see if it works. And then the first test that you do with the money, you go to the airport, you want to pay for the parking ticket. It works. Then you go to your collection, you deposit 1,000 and say, hey, does the money work? So to the ATMs, then it works. Then you believe,
it's real.
I've got this 50,000. It means that 2 million. If I buy that chemical, then it will work. And sometimes they'll even tell you, we're going to buy the chemical for 2 million. You give them the 2 million and you even buy them flight tickets to travel. And they just go on holiday and then change the flight and go somewhere else.
Jabu, clearly this is a case of the mind and the heart fighting each other. And the heart wins. Because the mind loses the fight. Did you feel that way at some point? That maybe this guy will come back, maybe, or you really just accepted it to leave?
From the time I saw that his house was vacant, it hit me. I was scammed. I didn't have any hope. I was like, I've been scammed and I need to find a way. How am I gonna cope or deal with this? But I didn't have any hope. To answer on the other scam that they do with the guys, these guys, there are so many on Facebook. You'll find them on Twitter. You'll find them on my article. I also there is a post. They post every day on social media. They assist you to get your wife back, to lost love. Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
How they would do it? They will obviously you will consult.
Like you're consulting a traditional healer, so
they will make you for money.
Do you know one of these examples? Consultation.
I wouldn't reveal that one live. The consultation, I've never consulted.
No, but maybe you know from some of your group members.
I don't have males in my group.
Okay.
Men, they don't like talking about their problems. They want to be Superman.
And be strong.
No, most of them, they commit suicide. It's just, most men, they commit suicide after they've been scammed.
And of millions?
Of millions. There are men that were scammed. You'll hear at the funeral that he retired, got his 4 million, they scammed him, his heart stopped, he's gone. They never live to tell their story. And those who live, they don't talk.
They live with the pain and the shame.
They live with the pain. Either he abuses alcohol because he wants to forget everything that happened, but they don't talk about it. But I'm inviting them to open up and talk about it, to contact me. It starts with someone.
In your case, now you're in hospital for 3 months. 3
weeks.
What are you going through? And do you think you're getting stronger and stronger in time as time goes? What was going on in your mind?
At hospital, I was, even my psychologist, psychiatrist, they were actually impressed. The thing is, when you are in that environment, they don't just let you sit and do nothing. there'll be classes. You are busy the whole day. You work your mind and then you go to sleep. But in your sleep, it comes back.
Of course, in your silence.
You like, okay, I'm in this nonsense. I'm in this mess. I'm paying 19,000 from my salary. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna? My kids, my daughter is going to university next year. Oh God, what all comes in. But at least I was still hopeful because I had opened my case, right? And before I opened my case a day after I realized I was scammed.
Okay.
That's why I didn't.
Before you even went to...
I didn't even have hope that it's coming back. I realized I was scammed. I opened the case the next day. So I was told my case might be transferred to Brakpan. And I was like, okay, I went to hospital. Then as I was in hospital, then I was called by the detective who was handling my case. I was like, at least, something is happening. And the person who assisted me to open the case, the guy treated me with dignity.
Okay.
Because when I got there, I was like, can you be there in the window? I was like, I need a safe space where we can talk.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, let me assist these people. Assisted them. Then he took me to a boardroom and he wrote my statement. He was sympathetic. He listened to me. He was sorry. He was also surprised by dating sites. Dating sites, Sisi, were you that desperate? And I was like, no, man, not everyone is always out there. You meet who is shellering. There is a time where you don't even get someone who's shellering you
sheller.
Because you are inside the house. From COVID, you are inside the house.
Yes.
And sometimes the one that is shellering is the one that is working at the garage. Pouring your petrol. Yes. So
all the time. Yes.
But he treated me well and he gave me hope that as the police, they would do everything in their power to assist me.
In the article I read about your story, you seem to have given up when it comes to the police and the kind of help that they give. You're telling a good story now, but what is the reality after that dignified treatment that you got?
A day before I was released at the hospital, discharged, I was called by the detective. He was like, okay, can I see you? Detective Nxumalo handling your case. I said, currently I'm in hospital, but the doctor might release me tomorrow, so I can see you on Thursday. And she was like, okay, you're in hospital. What happened? I was like, no, it was trauma. I couldn't take it, so I was not well. She was like, okay, fine. Thursday, I go to her. When I get to her, she's like, okay, I read your docket. Now I want to hear the story from the horse's mouth. Can you elaborate what happened? Started explaining, and by then I was in a chacharak as I am now. So my brain was slow. When I talk something, I will forget. And as I was starting to elaborate, she was like, no, man, I read your docket. I can tell you 3 things. Us as police, we can only arrest people we know where they are. But you've already written in your statement that this guy vanished. And I was like, in my mind, I'm looking at her and I'm like, but what is the job of an investigator? Okay, I keep quiet. Then the second thing, she's like, with cases like this, there is a high likelihood that this guy will not be sentenced because there is lack of evidence. Then I'm like, okay, is she a judge now? But I keep quiet. Thirdly, she's like, I've been working on a similar case like you. The only difference is that you met this guy on the dating site and this other person met the guy at the mall. And I'm asking myself again, what is the difference where you met a person?
And why does it matter?
Why does it matter? And she then opened the docket, showed me the picture of a guy who scared me. And I was like, no, this is the guy who was in the docket. Is this the guy that scammed you? I was like, no, this is not the one. The one that scared me is here.
What do you show?
I show him. Even the pictures, I realized that the scammer had deleted his photos on my phone. how I realized that I was in hospital now and I'm looking for the pictures of a scammer. And I can't find the pictures of the scammer. Luckily, when I date someone, I'll send my friends pictures. I'll be like, this is the person I'm dating. I only got the photos from those conversations, even from, I think on the 30th of March, he had access to my phone. It was my birthday. He was taking videos, taking me photos and videos. So he got an access to delete his pictures.
Yes.
The way they plan.
No,
they
like
plan.
properly,
It's
yeah?
proper planning. So I showed her, this is the picture of a scammer. You know what? She didn't take the picture of a person who scared me. And then I told her, I bought electricity in that house. There was a day I was in the house. I know people were judging me already. We were supposed to go and buy the electricity at the garage. I was like, it's at night. I would buy with my phone and you give me the money. All right. So now I've got a meter number. Then the next thing, she's like, do you know the number plate of the car? I'm saying, no, I don't know the number plates. Anyway, he was using a friend's car. But where he stays, there is a truck company that has cameras that are facing the road. You can look at the camera for the 1st of May, recent one. Between this time and this time,
You'll see him.
you will see him and probably you'll get the number plate. And then
So you're helping the investigation.
I'm helping her to do her work. And then, but when she told me those 3 things, I was like, there's a question that I asked her. I was like, are you saying there's nothing that can be done here? And she was like, no, I didn't say that. Then after that, I said, there is a meter number and there is this. I go home. I'm the one who called her and asked. And she was like, no, I haven't gotten time. And then the next time she called me and said, I went to the place, they showed me the footage, but you can't see the number plate. Then I asked myself, what car was she looking for? Because when she got the footage, she was supposed to call me.
Say,
Then I point the car and then they zoom. So I was treated like I'm an illiterate person. I can't read, I can't reason.
So do you get the impression that she was lying about having
She
gone
was
to that
lying.
house? Yeah.
She was lying.
She didn't go.
We okay, Mina, because I speak my mind. The other thing I forgot to say, the same day I went to the detective's office, there is another sergeant that came in. She was like, oh, Nxumalo, how much did this one lose? And then Nxumalo said 510,000. And she was like, oh man, you should have given me that money. I responded to her. I was like, how can you be so insensitive? I'm from the psych hospital and you're telling me that I should have given you that money. I got angry and she was like, oh, Nxumalo, bye-bye.
So we are dala.
Yes, we are dala. For her, it's
Another victim.
It's not that deep. It's another victim. From that conversation with her, I got home. I started planning how I was going to commit suicide without my kids knowing because of the statement she said.
What is it about that statement that brought you to the verge?
So to me, it sounded like I'm giving out the money.
Okay.
So I should have given it to her than giving it to the guy where else I was deceived and lied to and manipulated.
You didn't...
I wasn't giving out 500,000. I don't have 500,000. It's the loans I'm still owing the banks even now.
Sure.
But from that day, I will fast forward this and edit because I want to wrap up the police issue. After that, okay, I decided the detective is not going to do anything about this. I started doing my own investigation.
That's when
The fact that I even have his passport number, it's me I've learned the private detective skills. You can hire me. You can hire me. Wow. Okay. So after that, I did my own research, my own investigation. And I would say, as much as other police are not helping, my ex-husband has been very supportive. So the fact that I was able to speak to the Hawks, he made things happen, made the pot happen. So as I was speaking, we were also working with Colonel Chilwane from the Hawks. We've met him, but he did indicate that they are only 2 in whole Gauteng that are looking at fraud. And this fraud, it includes all kind of frauds.
Whether it's
Not just this one of ours. No one, actually, our cases, it depends. If you scam 5 million, they will attend the 5 million.
and
Your
500,000.
500,000 will be attended the next 3 years because of resources, of course. Okay, with that being said, Kenneth Chulane asked me to reopen my case.
Okay.
Because
Why is it reopened? I'm assuming it was never closed.
it was, I opened it in May, it was closed in September. And then I went and reopened it in May. After reopening it, before it was closed, I had to report the detective
Jeez.
and the sergeant about the statement that she said. I wasn't happy. I wanted my case to be given to someone else. But I was told that the other detective is on training. There's no one who can take my case. Eventually, after that, it was closed without me giving anything. All I know, my docket was with the, what do they call, Colonel, who's a manager for detectives.
Yeah.
Then my case was closed.
Branch commander.
Okay.
After my case was closed, I did go to the commander. I was like, how is my case closed? I was crying, literally crying. And I was mad at him. And I was like, I came here with my issue and he told me that he was going to arrange a meeting between myself and the detective so we can talk. Because when I went to him, he was like, you know what? Because the detective said he can't get someone from municipality. He's waiting for someone from the municipality to check the address, the meter number.
Yeah.
And his head boss said, you know how easy it is to check the meter number? You just go to Checkers, you buy electricity for 20 rand. The slip will come with the details of an own.
That's simple.
That's simple. And she was waiting for 3 months for someone who was on leave to check.
Two questions, Kelvin. How rife is this situation and being under-resourced by the police system? Clearly, that's a factor that she's dealing with. It's clear that it's a factor that everybody is dealing with. Because in my research for this, it says 100 cases. It's not possible that it's 100 cases. It says by 2023, 100 cases are the only cases that are known in the country. That's not possible. I'm almost certain that there's way more cases than that. Let's talk about how rife this thing is. And this thing that it clearly doesn't get the attention it deserves within the police system. What is the challenge there?
Yeah, look, police are overwhelmed with their work. You find one detective in a police station sitting with a murder case, armed robbery case, fraud, and they're under-resourced. Maybe one car, 10 of them share one car. But it doesn't give them the excuses to be the social workers or psychologists or even...
Or judges that are concluding a case.
DPP, I'm coming to that, or
Yeah.
NPA or DPP, to make conclusion of this case is going nowhere from just the first sight of seeing it. We thank the one that has comforted Miss J when she first entered the police station. That is Ubuntu. And we say that's a good thing. Now, the second one that came in triggered and numerous stress from the lady by uttering those.
Should have given me the man.
You should have given me the money. Typical of some of them. Now, coming to the point of investigation, they don't even need to go to Checkers to get a meter number or whatever. They can even go to the municipality, get what we call a 212 statement. It's an affidavit that is done by an official at the municipality to say, this is the ERF number, this is the person who's
registered in this person's name.
The title deed is registered under, and then this is the person that the water and electricity is registered under, because there's two different processes. Now, with that, they can even take it to court. It's sufficient to stand in court. Secondly, knowing who has signed the lease of that. Today, they must be sitting with that in their docket
Mm.
to date. They must be sitting with that,
Sure.
the copy of the contract, because it
Somewhere.
is not just an abandoned house
No.
with high security, as we were told. And then today the
Today there's
police,
someone that lives there, tomorrow it's abandoned.
they don't know, or they don't
Yeah.
even have a witness statement of the owner of the house. That's unacceptable. Secondly, police have got the resources to find out to place the person on a scene of crime. Because remember, they were communicating electronically
All the
through the
time.
phones.
Yes.
Where are the records of the suspect's phone?
Mm.
Thirdly, there is a unit within the subs that deals with such matters. So at first, they are still breaking and talking a lot of crap, and it's also not that their jurisdiction. They're supposed to take that case, the detective commander of that police station, take that case, transfer it to the unit that deals with this particular syndicate, because a syndicate, and they don't class it as just 500,000 there, 200,000 there. There's a whole lot of syndicate that they even allocate a special prosecutor to deal with such false pretense type of a syndicate, same modus operandi. So there are specialized police that deal with this, and those branch detectives need to be written a note to remind him that transfer the case to the relevant.
It's not yours.
It's not properly
Yes.
transferred
Yeah.
to start there. But even though it
Which
was
is
not
probably why it's not getting the right attention.
yes, but even though it was not properly transferred, their first point of departure is to get 212 statements, get 205 cell phone records, get the owner of that property. They need to give out statement because of it's a crime that there's a lot of footprint that is being left.
Exactly.
Not for her to go and
Investigate herself.
and further investigate and buy electricity for a house and investigate, come to the police and give that information. So it shows that we are lacking proper skilled detectives in the police station, and they are sitting with not knowing what to do.
Your role in all of this, how does it come in as a forensic investigator? When are you called, and what role do you play in situations like this? Because you're quite knowledgeable in the space. I went through your stuff for many, many years. This is what you even studied at school.
Yes, that's what I've studied at school.
Yeah.
It's like more than 22 years I've been in investigation, but privately.
Yes, okay.
But I work with police. I know their attitude. I know when you catch them in a good mood. I know the ones, even in Gauteng, that are very determined to work. And I know the lazy ones. But coming to the point of where we normally come in, remember, I work privately.
Yeah.
So there are fees that we charge.
So you would be hired by Jabu, for example.
Yes.
So Jabu, in this case, would be your client to look into this matter.
To look into the matter.
Yeah.
We can even we do take some other matters on pro bono.
Okay.
Obviously, you have to plow back to the society, especially where there are kids and women involved. There are many cases that we take on pro bono, and then there are those that we go on revenue.
Okay.
We charge per hour.
Of course.
Now, we get a lot of resistance from some of the police officials, unfortunately, especially at the station level, where you need to be the eyes and ears. And you come and you want to help them on the docket. Somehow, some of them, they feel that, you come in to take over, to instruct them. So based on that, resistance, the case will drag. And yet I've got a client.
Yes.
And the client wants to see justice, especially emotional cases such as this one. And, in some instances, you even end up, to relieve the stress, you end up paying back the client the money or the deposit that you have paid, and you have to deal with the police. But in some instances, we even go as far as writing a complaint on behalf of the complainant, putting out our grievances that this procedure was not properly followed this way, that way, this way. And as a forensic practitioner, because I'm allowed to testify in court, I'm not happy. The case must be moved to a particular, division that deals with that. And you'll find that particular division, we've got guys that knows our track record. Because I started as an informer in early 2000s, 1999, 2000.
Okay.
So I used to get money as an informant. But I stopped doing that. What I normally collect is every case that is successful, I just collect the appraisal letter.
Okay.
And it will help soon. I'll let you know
No.
once that materialize. No, it did help.
Yeah.
It did help in giving me a lot of RPL, recognition of prior learning, into my study field.
Great.
So it came with the experience.
Yes.
It helped.
It's
so
almost like doing volunteer work.
Yes, I stopped collecting the what you call the source money, the informant money, because it takes years sometimes or months. There's a lot of procedure in that committee.
What got you interested?
Look, I grew up in the township, and I'm not gonna hide it. I was naughty at the time. You know, growing up in the township of Kasi, at Ridgeville, stealing radio cars, and you know, you can. I normally say you can take me to a desert, I can come back. You know?
You'll be fine.
I'll be fine. So then around 1990, 99, 2000, that's when then I channeled my relationship with the police. Now, you know, giving them tips, some of the modus operandi there and there off to date. So then in the interim, I even registered a company which is called Beast Tracers. I deal with forensic stuff.
Okay.
And I went to school now to even study forensics. And I've completed my MBA. I'm just, finalizing my dissertation. It's actually finalized. Waiting for the professor.
Is it on the subject?
Risk management. So it's tailor-made because I'm doing it through Cumbria University in UK. So they tailor-made it to, my MBA is tailor-made to risk management. So my dissertation, by the way, is of ESCOM.
ESCOM?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because I've done a lot of external investigation for ESCOM, power stations.
So you have a lot of...
I've got a lot of knowledge. Procurement, I know how they operate.
That's an episode all on its own. All on its own.
Yes. But just to answer you, police sometimes when we knock at their doors, need to help. There is a lot of resistance. Now, in most incidents, I don't even announce that I'm a private investigator, forensic. I come, I knock nicely at the door and say, hey, there's some information that I got on the case that you are working on. So then I build that relationship. Because the minute you knock and say, I'm a private investigator, I'm hired by so-and-so. No, chief, I'm busy. I've got 20 dockets. She can attest to that. I've got 20 dockets. Come see me next month on such and such a date. So the case, they don't go anywhere.
It becomes difficult.
They don't go anywhere. But there are police guys that we work with and we get a lot of success. But matters like this, there is a unit within the subs that deals with this type of modus operandi, because they also cater for the ones whereby, nowadays you can see if your car is stolen, you'll receive an SMS that pay 5,000. We gonna tow
or that. Yes.
It's a scam that is run in prison. So the same unit operates on that same modus operandi of those particular criminals. But there is a unit that deals with that, and they know once they receive a docket where to start.
Because this is what they do on a daily basis.
This is what they do on a daily basis. I mean, you cannot struggle to know the ERF number or who's the owner of
a house.
Of a house.
In South Africa. That's not a complicated
standing house over there.
Yes.
Like it's just some abandoned buildings.
Even an empty piece of land, you can find the ownership of an empty piece of land.
Yes, subtitled. Even. Yes.
That's crazy. Embarrassment that you had to deal with now. Friends and family. How did that part go?
By God's grace, I've got a very supportive family. As much as I will blame myself, I will always say if I didn't open myself to the beliefs that I didn't believe in the first place, I wouldn't be here. But I did that. My family never judged me. Instead, they prayed for me. The reason why I'm alive today is because they had to fast and pray. I was on my road to exit life.
We're selling a bio.
Yeah, I was, and abuyile manje. That time I was on my way to ending my life.
Yes.
And the good thing that I did is that I told my family what is happening, and told them how I feel. Even I was reading my diary, what I used to write. Oh Lord!
During that time.
What
were you saying?
I was mostly saying, The pain that I'm feeling is unbearable. I can't even comprehend it. Why do I have to wake up and leave? Why is living so much painful? I know that I have to live for my kids. I have to push, but waking up is very difficult. I was writing such messages, and I thought I'll bring my letter so that you can read it to those people who were saying "layegile," to those people who were saying, who were laughing. I had a meeting with the Kozi FM, and a broadcast. They invited me to the show to raise awareness, but the response from my own Zulu people,
Ati, uyafuna?
fighting layegile. They were laughing, making jokes. Women saying, "Ubevele afuna ukumupha leyo mali."
Sure. So what do you interpret from that about those people? And I will say about us as people who are observing this story. What do you say? What is your interpretation of us?
For now, I will say people, it's lack of education. And the other thing is people, they just type without considering how. Imagine if I went to Kozi FM at their stage trying to raise awareness and they say ulayegile, it serves you right, umphile velo mal. What would have happened? Those words would have ended my life while I was trying to reach out and to assist others. But people, they don't think like that. I think, I don't know what I would say, but Black people, they thrive on someone else's pain, and it's very much hurtful.
Crazy. Do you find that you are strong enough now? One, you are to tell the story over and over again, but you're strong enough now to take ownership of this world by leading it, because which is what you're doing, by leading a support group of women that are trying to overcome this problem.
Yeah, I am strong. God has given me, He gave me the strength. You won't believe. I met other ladies. They will be crying every day, wanting to end their lives. I haven't been giving anything to them. I will only pray for them. I will call them, tell them it's going to be okay. Your kids, they need you, and I will pray for them. I don't have any miracles. I'll send them Bible verses. I can sense, I know these ladies, if I don't see her, she's not commenting that much in a group, I will then call him, like, are you okay? Obviously won't be okay. Then prayer helps. I think is the instrument. Probably, I believe, probably God put me here to save other people's life.
Do you know, I'm listening to you and I'm fascinated by your strength and I'm encouraged by it. I guess people find themselves in all sorts of different realities of whether it's scam, whether it's rape, whether it's, you know what I mean? There's all sorts of pain that people go through. And for you to be able to sit here and share with us your story, partly with a smile, because your heart is stronger than it was before. It's extremely encouraging. You have no idea how encouraged. And a lot of people will be encouraged by all of this. I am extremely encouraged to see you being able to do this now. And I want to wish you many more years of fighting this. But you're still dealing with the debt. Every month you're paying this. The bank didn't come and say, "Oh, sorry. Yeah, Bagropile will write this off." How are you coping in that regard?
As much as I had a very good, excellent credit score, I had to sign myself for debt review so that they decrease my premiums. I know it's not nice to have, but for me to be able to breathe, I needed it.
Yeah,
I needed it. So I'm signed on debt review. I'm paying. And if the bank calls me, I am in areas for the other bank. They will call me and say, I'll tell him I was scammed. I'm doing my best to pay what I have. What do you want me to do? Do I need to kill myself so that the insurance can pay you? Then they will be like, no, I honestly, God has given me my mouth. I use it to speak. And I'm encouraging other ladies, say you can't kill yourself because of a debt.
What do you say to those? Because when you walked in here and you sat down, one of the first things you said was, somebody right now is being scammed. Right as we speak. What do you say to those ones that are being scammed or will be scammed, which is almost all of us. What do you say? What do you have to say to us as someone that's gone through it?
I'll say if it looks too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And I always tell women, I've been that woman who, I know even South African men, you'll date him, he'll ask you for 2,000 rand, baby, can you assist me? And I'm like, I'm not your parent. So if a man talks about money, whether it's for his ancestors, it's for his car that is broken, run for your life.
If we can't talk about it so
unless
early
it's
on,
your husband.
it's a different story.
It's a different story. But if it's a boyfriend,
I like a man.
you don't talk about money, you talk about love, whether it's coming from, I know this, I've been living this, but I still got scammed. So
Imagine.
I didn't give someone money. I didn't borrow him money. They found a way to get it.
And they work really hard.
Yeah, and they really do work hard to get it.
Sure.
So what I will say is people should be careful. There are some red flags that you can highlight. Someone who will meet you within 2 weeks. He's madly in love with you. They like love bombing.
What is that?
Love bombing is when someone gives you so much love within a short space of time. Like, I know women will enjoy that attention, but it doesn't come from the good place. If someone is doing that, he's investing something that he wants to reap sooner.
Yeah, because this is not long term.
It's not long term.
Yes. Yeah, everything must happen quickly.
Yeah.
Mari, uyakuthanda.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever believe that someone
can love you. Oh no.
I'm broken. I'm not sure. Maybe as years goes by, but the trauma that we, because I'm representing the other ladies as well, we went through. A person will sit with you. They will make future plans with you. They will give you hopes that are not there.
And they're lying.
And you're like, okay, going forward in future, how would I see that this person really loves me?
How did you decide to be a part of the movement? And how did you get other ladies? Because, Mina, I wouldn't tell you if I was scammed. I wouldn't tell anyone. I would keep it to myself, recover if I'm recovering, or die with it. But when you came out, how did you get others to start trusting in wanting to be a part of the WhatsApp group? I'll call it that.
Okay. Sorry. After I was scammed, I first shared my story around August on my TikTok account. I had to install TikTok, create a profile, didn't have one, so that I can share my story. Then I posted on Facebook with people that I know. This is what happened, and it led me to this. And I was talking to this other colleague of mine at work, and I was like, I want to share my story in a broader platform, but I don't know anyone. I wouldn't go on YouTube. So this friend of mine said, I know this lady, Owami Entertainment. She has been talking about scammers, so contact her. I contacted her. I was like, I have this. And she was like, whoo. She didn't know about this game. She was even surprised. If you can look at the interview, she was surprised herself because she didn't even ask me before. She was...
So she called you not knowing parts of the story.
I'm the one who reached out because I wanted to share. I wanted to raise awareness. So after that, other ladies, obviously, they saw my story. Others were in a process of being scammed. They were like, thank God. Thank you, Sisi, for sharing your story.
Wow.
You literally saved my life. The other one was about to go and take loans. And she was like, oh, thank you so much for sharing. And others were already been scammed. Others, they were scammed. And the so-called boyfriends, they will say they are going in a mountain for whatever ritual. They would live for months. So they thought they are still in a mountain. I had to break it to them. No one is coming back here. This is what has happened.
It's gone.
Yeah, but I won't take credit for opening the group. The person who opened the group is Queen Bee. She has been active on TikTok. So she saw my story on YouTube and then contacted me and told me I didn't know about the story as well. So she started an initiative where she allowed the victims to speak. She asked them to send a short clip, share their story. You must also have your case number so that we make sure that
You're
it's
not
the scammers. Remember the scammers, they work with our South Africans.
Of course.
They open the bank accounts, they rent the properties using their names, they give them, they work with our South African brothers and sisters. And the same South African brothers and sisters also act as ancestors to other people.
Jeez.
Where the ancestor will say your grandmother is here and then your grandmother will talk. And
Khuluma ngesiZulu.
Khuluma ngesiZulu, yes, very deep Zulu that acting as the grandmother, especially for someone who doesn't know the grandmother,
Of course.
who doesn't know how
It's an
they
old,
used to
old,
talk.
old great grandmother.
Yeah, so they work with our South African people.
Sure.
So the person who started the group is Queen Bee, and she named the group There's Life After Scam. And from the group, we all contributed in a group. I'm the most strategic one. I'm the most vocal one. So I've been trying to do so many things, contacting everyone. We work as a group and we're planning to register an NPO, of which we are in the process. That will be helping the scamming victims. And I would like to, as much as in the past, there was a stigma if someone had been affected with HIV and AIDS. Right now, you can take your ARVs at the Groove. Everyone is aware. They don't care. Just like this, it's need to be destigmatized. A person who got scammed, they didn't get scammed because they are stupid. They didn't get scammed because they are desperate. I've never been desperate for a man. I was looking for a man, but I'm complete on my own. There is no element of desperation. If people can educate and be kind on the victims of scam. The victims of scam, they already hate themselves. I'm talking to them all the time. I'm like, you can't hate yourself. You didn't do anything wrong. You met a person who manipulated you. They are dealing with the self-hate, low self-esteem. And when someone comes and say, Ulaikile, you were desperate, what were you doing? It adds more stress. In the group, as my story was is a series of the stories that will come out from IOL. And ladies were crying because of the hate that was portrayed to me. Because they share the very same pain. And I still have people who have just been recently scammed. Imagine you are scammed now in January or in May and you hear such things saying, you are desperate.
You are dumb.
You are dumb. In Zulu, they even said, ulibele. Ukulibala, like you poo.
Oh, okay.
Like you can't even reason. That's what I'll urge people to be kind. It doesn't hurt being kind. And I've realized that the people who like putting down other people are the people who have low self-esteem. And they also need to look inside themselves and work on themselves. You can't be happy because someone had an unfortunate incident. Even if the boyfriend asked me for 500,000 and I borrowed him as a boyfriend willingly, the fact that he ran with the money doesn't mean that person is stupid. She trusted the wrong person.
That's it. Yeah.
Of which she was trying to help. In our case, we didn't even give our money willingly. And people will say such things. I urge the community to be kind. Love, it doesn't hurt to smile. And if you don't have anything positive to say, it's good to keep quiet.
How do they, victims of the scam, how do they connect with you guys? How do they join into this? Because I imagine there's a lot of people who wish they could be part of this support.
They can contact me on my TikTok account.
Okay.
Jabulile at Jabulile 13. They will first send me the picture of a scammer. I want a case number because I know the scammers are also working hard to get to know where we are, what are we doing, but we are getting a good progress. Yesterday, I had a call with the Minister of Police. I was
Wow.
trying my luck. Brave girl.
And they reacted.
Yeah, they reacted. We are being attended to.
Wow.
So I give the glory to God who has given me strength to fight this.
Are we aware, Calvin, how big this is? Do you think society is conscious of how big of a problem we're dealing with here?
Yeah, look, society, like Ms. J has said, that you become a laughing stock. So, and there's less education about this. And I'm very happy that you made this the opportunity so that the other victims can be made aware of. This thing is very rife. The syndicates, they up their game. They are all over the country, by the way. Whether be it Limpopo, Northern Cape, we get a lot of clients from all over the place, not only in Gauteng. And women must just be careful out there. And, there's a phrase that we normally use that everybody, somewhere, somehow, you pay a school fees. So this is one of the school fees that we want to make a point that people must be aware of this scam and not to fall victim. And I'm very happy Ms. J has, recovered, and also for the sake of your kids, for the children, I think they played a big role as well, especially when someone is suicidal. And there are many others that are scared to come forward. Let them join the group. Let them get support from the police. Let there be Ubuntu. I agree with that. During my first times of the interviews, as you can realize, I use one arm. So this side is a triceps.
Okay.
You read a lot of comments. People, they will just criticize. What's on your right arm? Hey, this and this. Your disability. So you feel that you're not doing good. But they say
Strange.
Your role, play a big role, make awareness, continue to make those awareness, and you really save a lot of women. That's why I'm saying they must come and join the group. And I'm happy that the police are supporting you. And those even in the police station, play Ubuntu, do proper investigation, channel this relevant cases, underline relevant.
To the right place.
Relevant
Yes.
cases, to the right structures, to the right jurisdiction for that matter.
Okay, Mamelodi. That Calvin, how do they get in touch with you if there's someone that feels they need your kind of help? Are you willing to share with us your details?
At the moment, I'm trying to apply in some of the structures in the subs.
Okay.
I've seen some few posts that I'm applying, so I need to close my company.
Oh, you're slowing down.
No, I'm not slowing down.
Yeah.
I'm going full force. I want to be inside now.
Okay. When I say slow down the private.
Slow down on the revenue.
Yes.
Come and play my part and plow back into the community and transfer some of my skill within the subs. So that's where I want to go and make a difference. I think we need some of the skills from private into the government.
Yeah. I must admit, when I saw that you said yes to this, I was extremely excited because it's easy for us on this platform to just get the sensational story. But we also need an expert opinion on the matter. How does it look like from that perspective? So thank you so much for making time. I truly, truly appreciate it.
I thank you very much.
I wish you well, Nxumalo. Thank you so much again.
David, thank you.
I hope this was worthwhile.
No, it was worthwhile. And thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. I'm all about... I think I'm a selfless person. I care about other people.
That's the problem.
That's my problem. But also what I'm doing because I care about a potential victim.
Hey, and there are many of us
and there are many out there.
Because we're desperate, we want money, we want love, all of that.
They will take your pension. Most ladies that I'm with, it's sad, they made them resign. They don't have any income.
And they don't have money?
They don't have money.
The story of the 2.8 million rands pension. And she's young, She's in her 50s.
Yeah.
She's in her 50s. She's young. And she resigned and she might struggle to get a job again now.
By God's grace, she got a job this year.
Thank you. But you, color from zero. Wow. I was cock. I wish you well, man. Thank you so much.
You so
and I hope the
much.
scammer gets caught. Thank you again, Kale. I hope that was helpful for you. If you got this far, you might as well subscribe. Thank you so much.
King David Studio Podcast.